Myth.
JMYTH has his own lane.
Yeah, we got another legend in the fucking building. Hades.
Let's see what Hades is talking about, man.
Let's see what JMYTH talking about.
Yes, sir. We are back. Another week of Logic Pro Global, where anything less for beats is illogical. I'm your host, Hades, broadcasting live from Miami Beach, Florida. What's good, everybody? Hope everybody had a great week. I know I had an emotional week. Got caught up in a poker tournament. Buy-in was $100, $100,000 guarantee. It was a 2-day tournament. I made the first day. Second day, I got knocked out maybe like 2 hours into it. So I'm a little upset at myself because I could have made it, but I made some ridiculous plays. But other than that, everything's been good. Still haven't started cooking up yet with the new MacBook. Still dealing with configurations. I still got to get Logic set up with all my templates and everything, plugins and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm hoping this weekend I can actually start cooking up and, you know, really putting this new Mac to the test, because like I told y'all before, my templates are ridiculous. Everything from predefined automation to, you know, plugins that exhaust CPU, something serious. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everybody. And I'm pretty sure when I make my first beat, it's gonna sound doo-doo, because I haven't made a beat in so long. But, you know, through repetition, I'll get my mojo back, and it'll be all good. But with that being said, let's jump right into the crypto weekly update. Let me go ahead and just change the scene up in here. All right, so the good news is the market is down. The bad news is the market is down. So it's good news for those that want to buy in low. Like I said, always buy in low and sell high. But to be honest with you, I don't know what's going on with the market. It's like, I know we're in a bear market, which means that, you know, the prices are always going to be going down and fluctuating, but we're taking like a heavy loss. Bitcoin is at $22,151.81. I mean, look at the slope. I mean, it's just like, it's like a whale dumped all of its Bitcoin in one sitting. And this thing was at 29 the last time I checked. So I'm not sure what's going on here. People are saying that we're on the verge of a major crash. I don't see that happening, mainly because too many countries have adopted Bitcoin at this point. Too many corporations have adopted Bitcoin at this point. But, you know, who knows? I mean, only time will tell. We are in a bear market, but this number here is insane, 22,000. And it seems like it's just going down even more. Down 29.15%. That is massive. Ethereum is at 1,200. I haven't seen Ethereum at this price since I bought into it back in 2020, 2021. I mean, this is like unheard of. You know, 33.57% drop. I mean, look at the decline. It's just like someone jumped off a 50-story building straight down. Like, it's really bad. So if you are invested in these, you're definitely taking a hit right now. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are long-term plays, so it makes no sense to take money out now at this point. You might as well just ride this roller coaster and see what happens, to be honest with you. XRP was a coin that I bought into, and I actually bought out of it. So the moment Bitcoin dipped past, I think it was like 26, I pulled out of XRP because all the coins are following Bitcoin at this point. So I didn't feel like taking that much of a loss. I did take a loss. I think I lost maybe like $600 from the $2,000 that I put in. So I'm probably going to buy back in, but not right now. I want to see how much lower this thing is going to go, or if there's any news about something with Bitcoin or something that's going to make the market pump up. But for now, I'm just going to keep my money on the side because, you know, the market is just completely all over the place. 21.30% down. Cardano is at 47 cents, down 22%. We have Solana at $29.47, down 25%. Polkadot, $7.26, down 20%. I mean, everything is pretty much taking a hit. So what I would say is, if you have not yet invested in any of these coins, now more than ever is a great time to invest while the market is down. It will go up. It's just a question of when or how much further down it's going to go before it goes up. But if there was ever a time to go in, now would be a good time. I would certainly focus on those coins with utility, right? So Ethereum has a utility behind it. Bitcoin, utility. XRP, utility. Cardano, utility. Polkadot, utility. So any coin that you do your research on that has some sort of utility behind it, some sort of purpose behind it, it's just not a coin that was created just to be created, I would say go ahead and invest in it. Put your money in. Put it in for the long term. Don't put it in to take it out, but definitely take profit along the way. If it goes up, 50%, take some profit off. If it goes up 100%, take some profit off. Because when it dips again, you can always go and take that profit and put it back in there. Try to be a smart investor at the end of the day. You'll make money. Take some of that beat money and invest it in this, or invest it in something, right? Don't just let it sit there and collect dust. Make it work for you. This fly is literally here to drive me insane. I'm gonna get you though. So all in all, the market is down this week. It's just getting worse every week. So hopefully we get a little bit of a pump and see a little bit of profit in our investments next week. So that's pretty much it for the crypto update. So for this week, today, you guys know we normally broadcast on Wednesday nights, but we had to get this man on the show, and his availability was extremely limited. So we decided to go live today just so we can get him on the show and really pick his brain about what the superior DAW means to him, Logic Pro. So without further ado, we have Levi Beats on the show today. Levi, what's good, brother? How are you? Levi, I think your mic is still muted. Levi, you muted your mic? All right, let me just make sure it's not on my end. Hold on 1 second. Do you know this thing went right back to black hole, Levi? It went right back to black hole. I'm gonna have to uninstall this.
That's crazy. You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now. Let me just make sure we're both coming through on the stream.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, we're live. How you doing, Levi?
I'm doing good, man. You?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thank you for taking out the time to jump on the show and let us pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, man, we're glad to have you. Just so you guys know, and he asked me this question when we first started before the show, when we were setting things up. How did I find his account? And I told him probably somewhere around 2018, 2019. He fell on my feed, and I guess the post that he put up was just, I enjoyed it, and he was a Logic user, so I followed him, and I've been following him ever since. And anytime he does a live or anything like that, I try to tap in whenever I can, even if it's for like 2 minutes. I try to see what he's cooking up at the time. So that's how, I kind of got put on to him. But, avid Logic Pro user, BeatStars extraordinaire. His catalog is on point. I got a chance to really go through it yesterday. And we're going to talk about 2 of the joints that he has on there that I'm really, really feeling. But before we get into that, let's give the people a little bit of a background of who you are, where you're from, things of that nature.
Yeah, sure. So Levi Beats, of course. Currently in the UK. I was living in London, but I relocated to Glasgow, which is Scotland, about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I've not looked back since. It's brilliant up here, so I've stayed here.
Nice.
And I actually started producing when I moved up here. So I wanted to get back into music. Previously, I was like writing music, you know, in bands and stuff like that, and playing live instrumentation. And then I really wanted to get into kind of like the producing side. So I kind of started about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was actually when I kind of moved, you know, the move was kind of a good thing for me, really.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell to a point.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your musical background.
Yeah, so I've been into music since as far as I can remember, you know, knee high, you know. I got into music. My mum and my dad heavily into like soul music, soul funk, like Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh yeah.
Luther Vandross, all of those old school, you know, those OGs.
Yeah.
Huge fan of those. Still am to this day. Sometimes for fun, I get some of their old records and resample them just for fun. I don't obviously put them up anywhere for sale, but I just like,
just for you,
you know, yeah. And it is literally just for me, basically. And also, it's just a fun way to try and, you know, make them sound more like what it would sound like today. You know, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, soul music I started when I was like, as far as I can remember, when I was really young. And then around about the age of 15, I picked up the bass guitar and started learning how to play that in a band. And we was together for quite some years, just doing some touring, just writing our own music, entering competitions, you know, battle of the bands type of thing. Not battle of the beats, but battle of the bands type of thing, you know. Yeah. And and just continued that kind of like career in music, really.
So did you spend like most of your time on the road, you know, with these, you know, battle of the bands?
No, we spent a lot of the time in rehearsal rooms and studios and stuff, and just recording. We actually ended up building our own studio, or our own rehearsal rooms. But you know what happens? You know, 15 years of age, you know, there's other things, life takes over a little bit, you know.
Yeah, who are you telling?
I think I was still in a band when I was about 21, and then it just all fell, you know. Some of the band members started, you know, getting married and having kids and stuff like that, and just life took over, really. But music has always been there for me. You know, it's one of those cliches for me, like, you know, when people say, oh yeah, music saved my life, I mean, literally it did for me. So I know it's that very cliche, you know, there's quite a lot of people that say that, you know, but for me it's definitely real.
So how do you go about juggling music and your family life?
Well, I would say like I'm fortunate in enough that I don't have any dependents, but I guess, you know, that's can be a bit of a sad part about, you know, being involved in music. I've had a lot of relationships, people come and go, but one of the things for me is one of the best relationships I've ever had is with music. Like, music has never left me. But people come and go quite often, you know. And it's not to say that I don't get on with people, like I do. And I, you know, I have family, I still see them. I've just not got my own family just yet, you know. But hopefully that'll happen sometime soon. Yeah,
I think a lot of us have gone through, you know, the phase where, you know, you're in a relationship, but the relationship, it's, you know, I was in a situation where I had a 9-to-5, I was trying to do music, and I had to spend time with the family. It was so bad that I had to wake up at 3:30 every day just to get a jump start on the music before my 9-to-5, then have my 9-to-5, and then after my 9-to-5 I would be with family. But by the end of the week I'd be completely tapped out, and it just reached a point I was just like, you know what, it's not fair to them, and it's certainly not fair to me. So I needed to make a conscious decision. And while the relationship was great, I felt like I was selling them short, and I was selling the music short. So I ended up
Yeah.
letting it go. And it's really hard to find someone who can understand what your passion is and kind of accommodate themselves to it. And people like us, we shouldn't have to settle, right? I'll sit and wait until the right person comes along that understands what I do. Until then,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, be alone with my music and keep moving forward, So I completely understand where you're coming from. There's a special person out there for both of us. It's just when they get here, they get here. Until then, we just gotta keep moving forward.
But again, I think they really need to understand you as a person. I don't know what it is, but when I talk to other creative people, I just feel that we have a different way of thinking, or I don't know what it is about creative people. I think they have some different mindsets and just different, I can't put a finger on it, but every creative person I meet just has that mindset. So then when I'm talking to sort of like, I say normal people, that sounds horrible saying that because everyone's normal, right? But if I'm talking to family members that are not involved in music and stuff, and I try to talk about it, it just doesn't make
resonate.
sense, or it just doesn't work. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. You don't have the same conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't resonate. It's one of those things where it'll happen. Don't look for it, because when you look for it, it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. If it's meant to happen, it'll fall right in your lap, and it's a beautiful thing when it does. I know a guy in New York. He's an OG in the game. I mean, he was a producer and a manager back when Biggie was around, and you had the Wu-Tang era and all that stuff. And I kind of look to him for mentorship. And he's in a relationship right now, 35 years married, with the same woman.
Wow.
Who's telling him, yo, don't you have a studio session that you need to be at? Like, what are you still doing here? Type of deal. That is the dream woman for a producer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, 100%.
She's not nagging you when you are at the studio, when you coming home. She knows you're out there getting work done, and she leaves you be. So that's the dream woman for me. So it'll come. Right now, we're just focused on making these hits at the end of the day. So
that's it. Yeah, you only need one. You're only one beat away from something potentially really good that can change your life.
That's a fact. So you said that your instrument was the bass guitar, right?
Yeah, but I play many. I play like normal guitar as well. A lot of my beats, I do a lot of record a lot of acoustic guitar stuff and electric guitar stuff in there. In fact, I've been upgrading recently. I've been getting myself a load of guitar pedals, which I noticed.
Cool. I noticed the pedal when you did your IG story today, when you were panning across your studio, and I saw it on the right hand side. Yeah. You're heavy with the guitar pedals, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like that typical R&B kind of like soulful guitar vibe, So it's kind of like chorus pedals. It's nothing like real heavy, but it's like chorus pedals, stuff that's like making stuff sound really smooth and I can't think of like royalty. That's the only word I can think of,
Okay.
Hence the purple vibes.
Do you have because when I went to your BeatStars, I mean, I guess I was more focused on listening to your beats more so than checking if you had loop kits or all that stuff. Are you selling any loop kits at all?
I'm working on those at the moment. What I've been doing, I've been coming up with guitar compositions, and I've been I've started recently. I've been uploading them singly, and just like giving it away for like a set price. Say like $2 or something like that. Rather than putting it in a whole pack, because I think I was trying to look at it from a different angle, because I think as well, $2 isn't as much as like say $20 or $10 for a whole pack, and you might not want to buy, you might not want to get all of the guitar samples in that pack. You might just only want one. So I just thought pretty cool to maybe just try selling them individually for now. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Kind
of like the splice architecture where you can buy the whole kit, or you can just pick the ones that you want out of the kit. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Very good idea. Yeah, man. I mean, Let me know when you start putting those up, man. I need to start cooking up to some of your joints, man.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I put one up already. Just hit me up and I can just send it over to you. It's not a problem.
That's what's up. Appreciate you. All right, so I don't play any instruments, so there's not much that you and I can discuss, have commonalities with. I'm just now getting back to learning how to play piano again. I played when I was younger, played Carnegie Hall. It wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal, but I'm trying not to brag.
That's cool.
That's my weekly flex for this week. So talk to us about just music production from a DAW level, right? Because I have a feeling you and I are maybe around the same age, and you're more of a hardware guy first than anything else, right? So tell me a little bit about your transition into a DAW and production within DAWs, whether Logic was your first or FL or whatever the case is. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so I actually started off in Cubase, and that was a long time ago. I didn't start producing in Cubase, but I was recording in Cubase, and I got a feel for it when I was a bit younger,
Mm-hmm.
But then, working in studios with other engineers and other artists and stuff like that, and other band members, they was just all using Logic at the time. And I just really liked the interface. I just liked how it looked. I got familiar with it. And then when I decided, when I moved to Scotland about 6 years ago, I decided, right, I'm just going to buy myself a Mac and get myself Logic Pro X, and there was a couple of things. Obviously, that sold it to me because, being familiar with Logic already. The other thing I like about Logic as well is, again, it's the interface for me, like the workflow and how everything works. Like you've got the mixer and stuff like that. For me, it's like one of the closest DAWs to using a console in a way, because you've got the mixer that you can bring up, and just stuff like that. It's just a lot of really good tools and features that I just love about Logic. And obviously, being someone that plays live instrumentation as well, recording stuff into Logic, mixing and mastering, for me it's just like all round the best door for me for what I want to do, and I would go to as far to as say it's definitely like superior compared to a lot of others too,
And Cubase, do you remember what year you used Cubase?
Cool. That was a long time ago. I can't even remember the year. I've been into music for such a long time. I can't, I started making music when I was 15, but yeah, I can't even remember really. It must have been, I don't know, maybe early 2000s, maybe something like that. I can't recall.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, because I think at that time I was also using Cubase. It was either Cubase.
Oh, really?
It was either Cubase or Reason. It was a grayish. It was a light grayish kind of dull looking.
Yep.
I think it was Cubase. It was very light grayish. I want to say it was Cubase. Yeah, I want to say it was Cubase. And at the time, I didn't really know much about it. I just knew how to dump vocals in and dump the beat in. Other than that, I knew how to mute solo, and that was it. I had an MPC 3000 at the time that I knew how to work, and the Triton, Korg Triton, of course.
Okay, cool.
And I worked those, but the DAW itself, I was very, very inexperienced with DAWs at that time, and I was put on the FL at the time. I was using Cubase, and when I opened up FL, it was like it looked like a little video game. It was just like 6 different colors, big cubes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what is this? Yeah, this FL, you can make beats with this. I said, no, thank you. Shut that down.
That's where it first started out, wasn't it? It was like just loops. You just put loops together. Yeah, that's how it kind of started.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if you told me, this is a beat machine. Okay, maybe I'll entertain it. Then you tell me the name of the beat machine is Fruity Loops. I can't take that seriously. So I tossed that out there.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to add milk on it and eat it, right?
I just could not. I thought it was just a game, like it wasn't for serious producers, so I never bothered with it. But could you imagine if I took it seriously from then till now? I'd be a guru at FL, you know. But everything happens for a reason at the end of the day, so I'm not tripping. J Myth the GOAT, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Getting everything situated. How y'all doing?
We're good. We're
Hey,
good.
what's up?
What's good?
How you doing, man? A fellow Logic Pro general.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? He understands the superior dog.
Yes, sir. He does. He definitely does. Let me get your frame sorted because it seems like it's out of whack. When you get a minute, just throw your camera on.
Okay.
Gotta get you lined up. Just bear with us, Levi. Just gotta get him.
No worries,
started.
man. It's all good.
I'm like, you know what? If he don't get here in 2 minutes, he fresh out of luck. But I said, you know what? Let me keep a frame open for him just in case. Because when the man says he'll be there, he'll be there. So he might have just got caught up with some things. No pressure. All right, bet.
Yeah.
So again, man, Levi, this is J Myth, one of the co-founders of Logic Pro Global, the GOAT himself, beat battle extraordinaire. I mean, the guy's won more beat battles than I have fingers and toes. And actually knocked me out of second place or first place in a beat battle. You know, I'm sitting riding high through the beat battle like, okay, now I'm in first place, I'm good. Everybody on this list left, can't nobody see me at this point. And then I see J Myth is like next to us. Damn. Man, serious right now?
Man.
So
That's one thing I've never done. That's one thing I've never done. I've never really entered a beat battle.
No?
I've generally done like remix challenges and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I've never really entered a beat battle. I don't think I'm the typical beat battle producer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely two sides of the brain. They're from totally different sides of the brain. You know, when I'm when I'm in beat battle mode, it's a totally different creative process than when I'm trying to create a song or a record.
Yeah, you don't have an artist in mind. You're just creating some really
you're just
banging. Yeah,
exactly exactamundo.
So you know what? I think one of our segments, and if it's not one of our segments, we can actually create it, and that's actually a good idea. Not a beat battle, but a melody battle.
That would be cool.
So whoever makes the best melody,
cool.
will, one of the producers will take it. I just did something that just threw the whole thing out of whack. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Undo. Why does it look like that? To the right. You're below. So why is it? It's not horrible, but it's not great either. 1 second, fellas.
What I'm seeing, Hayes, is that I'm seeing me in Myth's box and then Myth in the Levi Beats box.
Yeah, there's a box that's out of whack, so I gotta try to fix those. In the meantime, let's continue with the interview. So yeah, we could definitely do something like that down the road. Because we got all kinds of we got all kinds of crazy segments going. But yeah, so Cubase was the first DAW you started with, and then you said you jumped right into Logic, right?
Yeah, I also got Cubase on the iPad as well, and I was messing around. It was actually called Cubasis.
Okay.
So it's like a version of Cubase.
Okay.
And then, messing around with GarageBand and stuff like that, so but I'd obviously been used to working directly with Logic in studios when I was recording. So when I finally decided, right, I'm going to take this seriously, rather than just messing around on an iPad and just making up some random, crap, basically. And then I got myself a Mac, and then just like, right, I'm just going to start off. I actually bought myself like a refurbished one. I don't know if you remember like the old white Mac. It's so chunky and bulky.
As a matter of fact, Joey Dot, that I interviewed last week, he actually put his white Mac up on the screen to show me because he thought I didn't believe him. He's still cooking up on that.
I've still got it.
Yeah, he's still cooking up on it.
It's got like four. I think it's like four 4 megabytes of RAM or something like that. It's like it's really slow. Like maybe like now if I opened it up, I'll probably put like a maximum of 5 sounds in it before it decides to crash on me.
Out. Yeah.
Classic.
He still uses it from my understanding, but he also sent me a link with, which I didn't know. Had I known this, I would have done this for my brother's Mac. A link to upgrade your 2012 Mac or your white Mac to the standards of a brand new Mac, like an M1.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, because I like the look of the white one. It's pretty cool, you know. It's like, you know, can you imagine turning up to a session in the studio with that thing? You know, people would be like, you know, the artist would be looking at you thinking, you're gonna be showing me some stuff on that. What are you doing?
Is it even gonna make it after you put the 808s in? Like, it's probably gonna crash, bro.
Right? Yeah, the 808 and clap, it was done.
Yeah.
2 sounds were good.
He's probably expecting it to come with like some big suitcase with a battery in it, you know, or something like that.
Those things. I remember I had one back in the day, but I wasn't cooking up when I was just for regular work and stuff. But I told him to send me the link, and I wanted to try everything out myself as far as upgrading before I tell the community, yo, do XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So, but
there was a lot of companies out there do some like good refurbished ones, and they're great. I mean, that one I've still got. It still works. It still switches on. I don't really use it anymore because my projects have got bigger. You know, I'm using more tracks and stuff like that. So, you know, I can't. It would be weird going back to that, but it'd be interesting actually to go back and do something like that. You know, that would be a cool stream to do. You know, people just crack out their really old Mac machines and see if they can still make a beat on it.
That would be
that'd be cool.
That would be dope.
What's your go-to plugin on Logic?
I like Alchemy. That's really cool for
definitely
just a lot of things. I think it's slept on.
Absolutely.
So we were literally gonna get into that, but before we get into that, right? The transition from Cubase Windows, you had a Windows computer, I'm sure, to Logic, which is Apple. You said that the Mac was the white Mac, right? The white keyboard. Okay. So how long did you have that? What version of Logic, if you remember, did you have on that computer?
I started off straight with 10.
10.
So literally X, So I started off straight on that. But prior to that, when I was working in studios, I was working on 9. And that was kind of like the earliest I started seeing with Logic.
So I've never used 9, but maybe you guys can tell me. 9 is the white version of Logic, right? Like the brighter, the brighter version.
Okay. It was just I never used 9 though. I never used 9 either. I started on 10.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
9 was cool, but 10 like is fast. Yeah. When they brought 10 out, I was like, I don't even need to look at anything else. You know what I mean? 10 was it for me. For sure.
Yeah.
I tried installing.
They're still finding some upgrades every now and again.
I tried installing. I installed 9 on my MacBook Air, my 2012 MacBook Air, and I turned this thing on, and my eyes were burning because it was just so bright and so white. I mean, you're so used to 10 being grayish and kind of darkish, and this thing was just bright as bright can be. And I know I could do the same thing I would have done in 10, but I just opened it and I closed it. I said, you know what, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay. I
think they cottoned on to like knowing that producers are always working in the dark and really late at night. So, you know, you don't really want this bright screen that you're looking at for like 6 hours or so. So they've decided to chuck in the dark theme for you slightly, you know.
Exactly.
It's not quite dark theme, but it's dark enough to work with.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly. All right, so Logic 10, and this is probably around it was around the time that the 1010 itself came out, not 10.1 or 10.2. So you came in right when 10 hit. And
I pretty much got it when it came out straight away, and it obviously great value for money as well. I think it was like $199 or something like that. You know, it's just crazy to me. You know.
So you didn't even
But what you getting?
you didn't even GarageBand it first. You went straight to the full advanced Logic, right?
No, I did. I wasn't using GarageBand on my Mac, but I was messing around with it on my iPad. You know.
Okay.
And my iPhone.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was kind of messing around with it on that. In fact, I went from Cubasis to GarageBand, like really for a short space of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I got the Mac, it was like, you know, the iPad was like a little bit of a training thing and just, you know, just giving it a go. Being a huge fan of music, I just wanted to see if I could, you know, make my own music on my own, because I was so used to making music with a group of people in a band, you know, where you get the guitars out and stuff like that. So, you know, going from that to like actually making a beat, you know, that was quite a big jump for me, to be honest with you. But I think one thing that I think helped me with that is because just it's like I've done all the teaching since I was 15. So even though I was, you know, just rocking out, playing guitars and stuff like that, the music I was listening to really taught me. Those were my lessons, you know, like listening to, like what I was saying, Earth, Wind and Fire, all of those guys, Timberland, you know, all of those people, listening to those, and that's just it came naturally. Like when I started making the Woody knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you was already inspired to create. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's dope. All right, so you open up Logic for the first time, and if you remember, what were your thoughts? And keep in mind, coming from Cubase and all this other stuff, opening it up for the first time, what was the first thing that you thought about?
I was super excited, man. I was literally just so super excited to be making music and just sharing it with people. And when I opened Logic, I was like, wow, this, you know, I'm going to be able to do some stuff with this. Yeah. And it was going to be pretty cool, you know. And it was just so much. Obviously, I had a lot to learn, like the shortcuts and stuff like that, you know, the keyboard shortcuts, which, you know, saves your life a lot of the times. Yeah, and it was just like feeling my way around. And, you know, I think we're quite lucky, you know, coming up in the internet era and with the phones, you know, when you're going from all of these different tech products, the way it works, specifically with Apple as well, if you're so used to using Apple products, opening up Logic is like, it seems weird. It's kind of like in tune, like in your brain. You just know how to use it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just weird. But yeah, I was just super excited to get going, get learning on it, and just really getting into the door. And to be honest with you, I'm still learning stuff now. It's that deep, you know. 5 years. Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
5 years, 6 years in, I'm still learning a ton of stuff, you know. There was a something I learned the other day. I don't know if you guys like work with audio much, but I found out how once you drag an audio track in, I can't remember the controls. If I remember the key commands, I'll tell you. But press a couple of keys, and it actually analyzes the audio for you and tells you what the tempo is. And it's like, what? I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh wow! Yeah, I usually use the BPM counter.
Yeah, I use that too. But maybe that's a spin-off on that.
You're talking about apply tempo to project. No, I usually use apply tempo to region downbeat, which means I want the tempo of the project to hit the WAV file. But you're talking about the other one, apply tempo to project downbeat, meaning take the tempo of the track and apply it to the tempo of the project. And it'll if the WAV file has multiple tempo changes, Logic will show you where those tempo changes are. I mean, it's sick. Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah,
it is dope. There's so many things I've just even learned in the past couple of weeks. Just figuring out some new stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is gonna save me so much time.
And the moment you figure out that new thing and master it, Logic sends you an update with something new. You know? So it's always
Right.
That's the thing, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with a lot of the other doors. I've dabbled with Ableton and FL, but I could never get on with them. Whilst I was still an avid Logic user, because I'm like, you know, it's like, is the grass greener? You know, you might have those thoughts every now and again. You think, you know, you see all these FL Studio beat makers, and they're like making 50 beats a day, so they say, air quotes, right? And I'm thinking maybe I can make some beats quicker, you know. But no, it definitely didn't help.
Same here.
I was like, nah, I'm sticking to Logic. I'm definitely sticking to that. But yeah, I mean, what I was going to go into is like the updates. Like once you've bought Logic, that's it. There's no more additional stuff that you have to pay for.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
Again, I'm not too familiar with other DAWs, but I think, I'm not sure, but I think some of them you might have to pay for the updates. So
Reason, I know Reason. Yeah. Reason, you have to pay for the update. Not even the update.
Yeah,
you have to pay for the update for Reason.
So that's another good thing about, you know, just being a Logic user as well. You never really have to pay for updates. It's dope.
And you're
that's
on
a nice touch for sure.
You're on the latest version right now.
Yeah,
Logic.
Yeah, as soon as it comes out, just always upload.
Okay.
Update it.
What are your thoughts on the step sequencer? Have you been using that?
I've not really. Oh yeah, I have. I've tried it. It's cool for. I'll tell you what it's really good for, right? Because sometimes you get stuck into that same old beat pattern, right? That it's so ingrained into your head. So the cool thing about the step sequencer, specifically for drum patterns, is you can place them in a little bit easier and create patterns really quickly, and you can mess around with it and go, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you put like maybe a clap or a snare or a kick in the wrong place, and you're like,
but it creates the crazy bounce.
This is grooving. Like I'm gonna stick with this. So I think that's what's really cool about that, because it just opens up your horizon a little bit, in terms of like, instead of just options, like tapping them in. You know, the only thing I think with the step sequence, the only thing I would say, although there are other tools where you can add swing and stuff to it, sometimes it's still nice to add like having like a human element to the way that you're programming your drums, you know. But what I actually do is sometimes I'll use the step sequences to kind of like give me the rough idea of where I want to go, and then maybe add some other elements in manually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because you don't need it. Like sometimes you can have some stuff that's not on the grid, but then other stuff that is, and it still helps to create a bounce for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree 100%.
You know, we're sitting here talking about swing, and I'm just looking at you two on the stream, and I'm like, yo, these two together could make something serious, like. Because Levi, Levi, we're going to talk about those two tracks that I want to talk to you about. But Levi's production, you know, he does R&B and hip hop, but his R&B joints, like I told him, take me back to, you know, the Mary J days, the Carl Thomas days, and all that stuff. And I know Myth is he messed with that genre as well. And Myth got the crazy drums and all that other good stuff. You know, that collab right there is a dangerous collaboration right there. Levi Beats.
Hey, let's do it. I'm game.
Yeah, man.
I'm up for it.
Let's do it. I'm definitely down for that.
And both of y'all about that swing. I'm all about the swing as well, but what I do, I don't swing the drums, right? So in my production, like after I'm completely done with the project, I'll listen to it to see how on the beat the melody is to the drums. And I'll nudge the whole melody lane over a quarter frame to the right.
Yeah.
I'll move it over a quarter frame to the right, maybe 2 quarter frames over to the right. So it's not sitting right on top of the beat, but you kind of get that swing and it's more fluid rather than bang bang right on the
grid.
You know what I'm saying? That's the most I'll do as far as swing. But you two, you guys are doing the official swing with the drums to give it that, humanized type of feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, like sometimes the drums can be all on the grid, and then every instrument I'll play live and extremely loose. You know what I mean? Just to give it a feel. There's just different techniques and different approaches you can take to make sure that it's just hitting.
Yep.
I think you just go by feeling, right? I think that's one thing. I think that's one thing I've picked up, and I think that's maybe where we might have an advantage over some of the younger producers, because we've come up with all of that.
Myth, didn't I tell you that? Man. Myth, have I not told you that 1,000,001 times?
Yep.
Like, there's certain things that we can do because of the era that we come from that young producers cannot.
100%.
There was a time when, which is probably still relevant now, where taking an old school R&B joint and remixing it and making it more recent was the thing to do. But they have to go scouting for these joints. They don't know the name of the artist. They don't know the name of the song.
Right.
We know these songs. You know what I'm saying? We know them. So we can just say,
True.
Carl Thomas or, Mary J. Blige or whatever.
And
bring it up and just remix it. You know what I'm saying? So we have that advantage. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
A lot of the stuff these youngsters can't do, or places they can't go to network and stuff like that. I can go to Magic City, okay? I can go to these strip clubs.
Right.
I'm over 21. I can network in these places. They can't. So producers in our genre, and I mean, from our generation and our age, we need to take advantage of these things that these youngsters can't do.
100%.
I agree.
That's why I've stayed with my lane, because a lot of people say to me, when I look at some of the top selling producers, I'll be honest, sometimes I get, not sad, but I just kind of like, they're making, I mean, ultimately I didn't start this to start making money, but then I saw the ability to do so, and I thought, I need to tap into that, right? Mm-hmm. Because obviously I want to be doing this, every day of the week for a living, so.
Got you. I told you I was going to get
But, like one of the things I think is, which is why I decided to stay in my lane, is because I think I have an advantage because of that, because it might not be the same as what everyone else is doing, so I guess that's kind of, I thought about it at one point, just maybe switching it up a little bit and just making trap beats all day, but it doesn't do it for me. I don't get the same feeling from making that type of music as I do with the stuff that I'm making. Like, I know if I make a beat and it's got me up until 5 a.m. in the morning, and even though I've mixed and mastered it, I'm sitting here in my studio with a cushion, laying on the floor, listening to it on my headphones, and I could just listen to it on repeat over and over and over.
Right. Yeah.
That's
you got something where you can listen to it forever, and it never gets tired.
That's the music I'm trying to make.
I've had to get
absolutely.
I've had to get out of that habit. I was doing that too much. I'll make 3 beats in a day. I'll have those 3 beats looping all day, all night, and it's like, I mean, I had to learn to let go. I had to put myself in a product. Like, this is just product. This is not as much as you love this beat. This is product. You're gonna have to let this go at some point, and you're gonna have to move forward. So I kind of got out of the habit of that. I had a whole folder, a draft folder. Every time I made a beat, I put it in the draft folder, to the point where I was just like, you know what? I need to get rid of this draft folder and stop saving them. This is a business. The process to make the composition, I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to do it my way. But once the composition is done, before I bounce it out, I'll play it as many times as I want. I'll make 1 copy for me to play in the car if I'm going somewhere, if I know I'm going somewhere. When I come back, I delete it. That's it. Because I will fall asleep with this thing on repeat until tomorrow morning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got out of the habit of that. But there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. It's just me.
No.
It's just me.
No, it's definitely not. And I still do that, but it's like I still have the business mindset there as well,
Yes, yeah.
Because the other thing I know is that sometimes you might think it's the best beat you've ever made, right? You think, man, this is gonna make me a ton of money. You upload it, and no one's even looking at it.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, what?
We've been there.
And then you upload the wackest beat that you made, and it took you 5 minutes.
Yo,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
understand it.
Selling like hotcakes.
I don't
You
understand
get
it.
someone negotiating for an exclusive straight away. You're like, what the?
What the hell? It don't make no sense.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
This don't make sense. I'm like, damn. But it's just because of the taste. You know, everyone's taste is different. But it's funny.
And not
It's
just
funny.
the taste. It's what everyone subliminally has put into other producers' mind that, when you make a beat, you need to make it as simple as possible so the rapper can rap on it. How about I make the beat as complex and bouncy as possible, and the artist just adapt to it.
The artist,
Yeah.
right?
About-
The artist has to come up.
Yeah, how about the rapper just rap?
They got to
instead
make
of-
the adjustments.
Yeah, how about the rapper just rap instead of singing and humming and mumbling or whatever it is they do? How about you rap for once? That'd be nice. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So you gotta.
Yeah, we've got to be challenging them, man. We've
Yeah.
got to be challenging them.
They're
right?
getting
Absolutely.
too comfortable. Everything is catered to them. You got to leave room for the artist to breathe and do their thing. You didn't do anything. You just put a kick here, a kick there, a snare there, and that was it. Like, come on, man. You got to challenge them. Like, how are you gonna get them out of their comfort
Absolutely.
zone? I see. I mean, from an artist perspective, if the formula isn't broken, why switch it up now and try to get creative and come up with a different sound? I get that, but I'm not going to dumb down my production because I need to make room for the artist. There's an artist out there that can get busy on my tracks at the end of the day.
Right.
But as a producer,
and I think there is a happy medium too.
Yeah,
where it's
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
okay,
exactly.
I can make an adjustment. They can make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And then, when the chemistry's there, magic can happen. You know what I mean? It could be the craziest thing possible, but it's not going to work if we're just constantly catering to the artist just for the sake of catering to the artist.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're not even really, they haven't really put the work in to be as good an artists as we are producers. You know what I'm saying? And as far as putting in the work,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like, all right, let's challenge them. Like you said, let's challenge them a little bit.
Yeah.
So like,
thing I always have in
can you
mind-
get on this? Who can get on this record?
Yeah,
Who can get on this beat and actually make it something, something cool?
So Levi,
The other thing I always have in mind, just to finish off on that, is like, if they want to change it, just go ahead and buy the STEM license. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Amen. There you go. I agree.
that actually
You want to change it? Yeah, buy the exclusive STEM purchase.
Yeah.
Price. That's a
that
different
actually
price.
brings me to
Today's price is yesterday's price.
Right,
is
not today's price. Shout out to Fat Joe, man. Yesterday's price is not today's price. That brings me to the next question. So when you're composing, do you because a lot of producers, they say, I'm gonna make a Lil Baby beat today, I'm gonna make a Yo Gotti beat today, or whatever beat. Is that your approach when you start your composition? You say, I want to make like a Mary type R&B beat, or I want to make a Mint Condition type R&B beat, or do you just go in and whatever starts to become is what will flourish?
Yeah, that's exactly, because I see myself as an artist too, in a way,
Okay.
So when I'm in the studio creating something, it's just a natural extension of who I am as a person, right?
Exactly.
So when I'm making, I don't even go in and think, right, I'm going to choose this sound. I'll just literally scroll for whatever VSTs I've got, and I'll go, right, what am I going to use today? Or I might pick up the guitar, or I might just listen to some music, and maybe sometimes, and what I've done before now actually as well, is I've dragged I'm pretty clever with this. If I hear a track, an old school track that's got like a long intro and it's got the melody, without any drums or vocals or anything like that, I'll drag it into Logic and I'll try to create around it, and then I'll build it and build it and build it. Then I take that original sample away and I've just created a whole new beat around
Right. Yeah.
something that's
it's like a
inspired
replay.
me.
Yeah. Yep.
Something that's inspired me. So sometimes I do that. Sometimes I pick up the guitar, but no, I never go in and go, right, I'm going to make, a Drake type beat today, or Mary.
Exactly. Yeah. Same. Yeah. It's like you never have the mindset to where, all right, I'm going to make a tight beat today.
Yeah.
You're just going to create, and then, because sometimes in some cases, like my mentality is you can sort of, could sort of put yourself at a position to where it's like, all right, if I'm going to specifically make this artist type beat, there's other artists that may, that may say something even better on that beat. And now it's like, okay, now that I labeled it as a Drake type beat or whoever type beat, you know what I mean? There's other artists out there that be like, oh, well, like, what about me? You know what I'm saying? I could have type that, you know what I mean? Whoever type beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think when you start, if you can take it any way you want to, right? So, and I think it's just having that, I mean, you still have to think in terms of business as well, if this is what you're in it for. Yeah. So if you know that this artist is popping off, so say like, I don't know, Lil Baby's bringing out a new album next month, you might want to think about making a ton of Lil Baby type beats to put them out there, because it's going to do your SEO.
That's a good point.
Do your SEO well or good, especially if you're particularly using YouTube and uploading to YouTube and stuff like that. But
that's a very good point.
But for me, I just, I mean, you can search Google Trends and stuff like that. You can use Google and search for stuff like that and see who's the current popping artists and stuff like that. But for me, that doesn't work because I'm just generally a fan of music. So when I'm making music, I'll be totally honest, right? When I'm making music, I'm making it for myself. I'm not making it for anyone else.
There it is. You heard it first.
I'm really not.
There it is.
You heard it first.
I feel you.
That's a good point. And speaking of that, and what albums are coming out, I'm putting something in the Twitch chat for everyone to go ahead and click on. So this is what I use to kind of get a sense of what albums are dropping. Let me just switch the scenes here real quick. Segment. So this is, I think this is Hip Hop DX. So I can get a glimpse of what albums are dropping this month for June. I can forward myself down to July and see what's coming out next month. So who do we have? We have nobody that I've ever heard. Oh, Post Malone dropped an album on the 3rd. What day is it today? Today's the 14th. So never heard of Jay Stone, J Rock, Logic. Logic is the rapper, no? Vinyl Days. The date is to be determined, but so with this site, I get a glimpse of whose albums are dropping within the month. And if I wanted to go that route of, maybe I just make all beats for, Post Malone or Chris Brown, then I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But I heard that it doesn't, the YouTube algorithm, if you're uploading to YouTube, doesn't really favor that. Like if you don't stick to like one specific, niche or artist, and start bouncing around. So I haven't really used this too much, but I don't know. I'm revamping the brand for BeatStars and YouTube. So who knows? I might start doing it, but I would do it a month in advance. So if we're in June, I'd start looking at stuff in July to see what's coming out next month, and then have a full month of uploads for that artist until that artist, comes out. But keep in mind that, more than likely there's people on YouTube that are already holding down that Chris Brown niche or that Post Malone niche. They've been doing it since day one. So the likelihood of you ranking above them because you've been doing it for a month prior is highly unlikely. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a good way to go about it.
Searching for those type of beats, maybe you might be easily found if you've got your stuff there to be seen, but I don't personally work like that, and that's why my YouTube channel is kind of at the wayside, because it doesn't work for me, because I can't go into the studio and go, I'm going to make that type of beat today. My YouTube channel is very mixed.
Same.
Yeah, when I compose, I don't think about whose type beat it's gonna be. I just compose. I mean, I know at the end of the composition, it's gonna be slapping, it's gonna be bouncing, it's gonna sound crazy. Who I can hear on it, I'd be the last person you ask. Like I kind of refer to my brother because he might know, or a couple of his peoples. But I think at one point I started uploading YouTube beats as freestyle type beat, and I got that from Aniel Licencia, because
Yeah.
his beats were always labeled freestyle type beat, meaning any style can pretty much rap on it, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that pressure of coming up with what artist would sound best on it, So ultimately, that's going to be the route I'm going to take when I rebrand and start pushing back up. But yeah, I don't care who can rap on it. Just rap on it. Buy it and rap on it.
I think using moods as well, because like moods is a good one to use on YouTube.
Okay.
Moods.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
So like, if you're a person, because maybe that's what I should try as well, is if you're a person that's consistently making happy type beats, because that might just be your personality, because it's coming across in the music. That might work for you,
Okay.
just using that as a keyword.
Yeah.
For me, I would say smooth, smooth, kind of a smooth type beat.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Or maybe like dark or
Dark.
whatever mood or
Because I think people are searching for moods too. They're not just necessarily searching for specific artists per se,
Yeah, I mean, it's a sea of
that's a good
beats.
point.
It's a sea of beats on YouTube, so they're gonna kind of narrow. They want to be able to narrow it down to something specific, versus going through a pool of beats that are nowhere near the type of beat that they want. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, is to put the mood in there for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Logic Pro,
Yeah.
you said something about alchemy, because I'm an alchemy boy. All right? I am the poster boy for alchemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I told you before the stream that we're gonna be working on sponsorship with Apple, down the road.
Yeah.
But if I can get them to do a commercial on Logic and use alchemy as like just as a backdrop, and me in the front of it, I'll do it for free.
Yeah, good look.
I was so intimidated with alchemy when I first saw it. It was like an omnisphere to me. It was just like a whole bunch of buttons.
Yeah.
I don't understand the jargon underneath these buttons. It was just super intimidating. Now at the level that I am with Logic, it is by far, I can't see any VST really holding a candle to it, to be honest with you. Not even Omnisphere. I mean, Omnisphere has great sounds. Don't get me wrong. Hands down, great sounds. But it can't do what alchemy can do. Like, can you throw drums in Omnisphere? Yeah, you probably could. Can you get them to slap? You probably can't.
Right.
I run all my drums, snares, kicks, 808s, hi-hats, everything through alchemy. All my reverse hi-hat patterns through alchemy, because all I have to do is hit the reverse button and my hi-hat goes the other way. You know what I'm saying? So and I think my first experience with alchemy was with drums. And then after drums, I tried messing around with samples, which came out pretty good. But with Quick Sampler now, I mean, you really don't need to use alchemy for your samples, but you could.
Nah.
True.
Alchemy is just an all-around VST to me. It's super huge.
Definitely.
So I guess my question to you is, what was your first experience with alchemy like? What are the components of alchemy that you love the most?
I really like all of it. I like the fact that you can drag stuff in, so you can drag like samples and stuff in, which I think not a lot of people are familiar with.
They are not.
With alchemy.
They are not.
I like the filtering as well in alchemy as well. I like how the filters work.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
and just what's funny? Have you ever used is it Remix? The remix.
Yeah, the remix effect.
Remix effects.
Remix effects.
The plugin. Yeah.
They've took some of those elements that they've got in there from alchemy as well. You know, the way that the
XY pad.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Y pad and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I really like the Y pad stuff. I like the fact that you can like merge sounds together, and it's just really, really cool. It's I think again, it's just an underrated VST, which I don't actually ever see anyone using.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
And it's not because they don't want to use it. They're just not aware of the power that it has.
How powerful it is.
Because they're so distracted by the Omnisphere and the Nexus and the Heat Up and whatever other VSTs are out there. But this is where Logic Pro Global comes in, right? I guarantee you, if these individuals use alchemy for a week to either for their melodies or for their drums or whatever, they'll sing a whole nother tune and completely
Absolutely.
do away with all the other VSTs.
I think the other thing you could take into consideration too, specifically when you're using third-party plugins and VSTs, right? Obviously, alchemy was built to be used inside Logic, right? So in terms of like CPU and processing power and stuff like that, you could probably have like 100, alchemies open, and it would probably still be okay. If you get 100 omnispheres open, man, your computer's probably gonna crash,
explode. Yeah.
So there's that to it too. That's food for thought.
I love just the sound quality in general. Well, all Logic VSTs, all Logic sounds. That was the first thing. As soon as I heard the Logic sound quality, I was like, all right, I'm going with Logic out the gate. Like, just the sound quality alone, it's just like, okay, this is like top tier, really good quality. And I don't have to go to any third party VSTs or anything if I don't want to. I can use it all in house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of VSTs that I've used still inside Logic. The retro.
Yeah, retro synth. Yeah, retro synth. The ES2 is goated.
I love retro synth for like bass synths. Like the synth bass sound. Super dope. Sounds stupidly fat. Yeah. Really, really good. There's a lot of stuff in there.
I use that on a lot of West Coast stuff that I do.
Yeah, it's got some really good
nice some funky stuff in there.
Yeah, super cool.
Just bear with me, guys. I'm juggling chats between Twitch and YouTube right now. I'm just responding.
No, that's cool. The other two plugins that I really like inside Logic, which I think are also really underrated and underused, is Fat Effects and Step Effects.
Oh, he said it. He said it. I was trying to keep it in the holster. I was trying to keep it a secret, but yeah, definitely.
Step Effects, bro. Oh my God. If you want to create some grooves and some funky patterns and stuff like that, Step Effects is amazing. If you want some really cool, I made a beat yesterday and I chucked Step Effects on a vocal sample that I had. And oh my God, the whole track went from being stagnant to like just moving all over the place. It gave it so much emotion, so much feeling, just moving that stuff around. And one of the other things I really love about Fat Effects is the saturation part. I use that for my kick drum.
Absolutely, I use it on all my drums because I used to, the bit crusher used to be my go-to.
Yeah.
And then when Fat Effects, had everything I needed right there in that same VST, I was like, oh, okay, this is it. It changed, game changer.
Who needs soft clipper when you've got Fat Effects, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Miff, we do this every week, so I ain't gonna do it to you this week. I think we know where you got all that information from. We gonna leave it at that.
We're gonna talk about the quick sampler. The quick sampler sauce.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that.
No. Shout out to Hades. He got me right with the quick sampler.
You already know.
He opened up a whole new can of worms with the quick sampler sauce.
Quick sampler, yeah.
Only God knows what he's doing with it these days. You know what I'm saying? Like
a little razzle dazzle.
Little razzle dazzle. Oh damn!
Which one do you use though? Do you use the simplified version or do you use the optimized one?
Optimize. I use the optimized.
I use the optimized one.
I use the optimized because when I'm chopping samples, I chop them up by beat. I chop them up by beat, and then I'll rearrange. I'll give it a little bit of. I'll take down some of the attack just so you don't have any clicking and popping. I'll do it I think I'll do it at 1 beat. And then I'll do a whole randomization of the notes, so I can copy all of the notes that have been chopped into a MIDI region. I'll put it into the MIDI region, and then I'll run it through a MIDI transform. So I'll set the MIDI transform for random pitch from the bottom note to the top note, and it'll take all those notes and randomize it. And I'll keep randomizing and playing it until I hear something that clicks. And then I'll take that section, I'll put it to the side. I'll do it again, take that section, put it to the side, and then I'll do it once more and put it to the side. but I'll always leave the last 2 bars of the melody. So, for example, the first randomization that I took, I'll add that with the last 2 bars of the melody. That way, it'll always flow out of whatever that composition was, versus just having some random ending.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Coming from the 8th bar into the 1, back into the 1, you have that consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and it works pretty good. It works pretty good. So, but I think you can only do that in Optimize. I think if you put it in the original, I don't think it'll do that. Yeah. I don't,
See, you do your approach because you're so organized. You actually do what I do it. I just do it, manually. But you're so organized, and your template is so, complex that you have it to where you can actually do that, where you can type it in, MIDI transform, and have everything sort of organized in a way to where you could just, click and go.
Mm-hmm.
I end up doing that same and taking that same approach. I just do it manually. But I still take the quick sampler and have the take off some of the attack and everything, and I sort of chop it at division instead of beat. It just depends, and then sometimes I can go in there manually and just sort of, because sometimes I like to chop things, differently, like little weird chops in little areas that not necessarily fall on the 1, you know what I mean? So I'll just go in there and just make a little minor adjustments in the divisions of the chops, and it works out. But yeah, no, Hades, when Hades showed me that quick sample of songs, so I was like, woo.
Yeah, I mean, I was using Serato and stuff before, and I'm like, I've got Serato, it sits there, I don't even touch that now.
Yeah,
quick sample. If I need to sample something, quick sampler, or even Alchemy, I just drag something in there as well.
One thing about Logic, and hopefully this doesn't taint our opportunity down the road. Logic is very good at jacking other DAWs functionality. All right.
Yeah.
We're not gonna sit here and act like Logic did not take the quick sampler idea from Serato.
Right.
Because the splice, those little splice bars look exactly like Serato's splice bars.
Verbatim.
All right. So we're gonna call a spade a spade. While we appreciate it, unless they say otherwise, Logic did jack that. On top of that, the step sequencer.
Yep.
FL maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But when they take something, they take it and they take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Our step sequencer, our channel rack, FL can't see our channel rack, period. And we haven't even shown them what it could do yet. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So, Logic is good for that, but they do it in a very tasteful way. They're not just going to take it and copy it. We're going to take it and make it better. You know what I mean?
But I also think as well, I think in some cases it's complex, but it's simplified at the same time, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because
but I think anyone that uses Logic, when they bring that stuff in, they always have the Logic people in mind, like they don't want to take you away from that Logic workflow and the Logic feel.
Yeah.
But they're really clever with how they do it, to be honest with you. Really clever.
I used Serato as well for a little bit, and I don't know, the workflow was just, it wasn't seamless. I could appreciate what they were trying to do, and I think I tried to recreate. As a matter of fact, the first beat I tried to make was a recreation of Shook One's Mobb Deep.
Okay.
So I found the original sample. Mobb Deep, the Shook One wasn't a sample where it was just like a 4-bar loop and he took it. No, Shook One's is Shook One's
crazy piano
it's
loop.
three different. I think it's 2 or 3 different sections from a whole song that he managed to get that he managed to make a dark beat out of. You know what I'm saying? And I managed to find that section, put everything on the keyboard, map it to the keyboard, and play it out through Serato. That was a great experience for me. And because of that, I kind of gave Serato a thumbs up. But then when Logic came out with the quick sampler, and I'm looking at Serato, I'm looking at quick sampler, I'm looking at the ease and workflow with quick sampler versus Serato, I was like, thank you, Serato, for the good times. But this is native, you know what I'm saying? So.
But quick sampler is a game changer.
It's just one of those plugins that just sits in your library now, and
it just collects dust. Yeah, exactly. So listen, one of the other co-founders of LPG, Drill Bit Beats, couldn't attend today. He had other things he had to attend to that were super important. However, he wants me to say thank you for joining the interview today, Levi. He really appreciates that.
Very well.
And he has a
Absolutely.
question. He has a question for you. What if you had to go to another DAW and could only bring one plugin native to Logic along? What is it and why?
Oh,
Probably Alchemy.
It's got it's got to be Alchemy. The reason why is because I think you could just have you could use Alchemy across the whole of your beat. You could literally have it, so you'd only need that one VST.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure. I still think there would be others that I would miss, but I think I wouldn't be crying so much if I still had Alchemy to use. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've never used Alchemy for your drums?
No, I haven't. No, because I like the quick sampler for my drums. I just use that. It really works for me. But there's a food for thought though. I might give it a try.
If I gave you an opportunity to see what it looks like and bring you over to the dark side of Alchemy drums, is that something you would entertain down the road?
Yeah, like 100%. I would definitely love to see how that works and how someone else would be using it that way. I'm sure I could definitely figure it out because Alchemy is quite an easy. Once you get into it and you understand it, it's pretty straightforward. Once you're an average Logic user, I think you can just use Alchemy with no problem. But for me at the moment, quick sampler is just because it's easy. It seems easier for me at the moment, and I haven't got to do too much else. But I do every now and again like trying different things. You know what I mean? Like just seeing like.
I'd like to make a deal. I'd like to make a deal with you because I forgot to mention this during before we got on. Something we asked the producers if and offer if they choose to. Remember I mentioned earlier there were 2 beats that I heard on your BeatStars that really, really caught my attention to where I just stopped listening to the rest of them. I wanted to focus on these 2. I will make a deal with you. I will show you a project where all my drums are running through Alchemy if you'd be willing to just give us a glimpse of one of those 2 projects.
Yeah, 100%. I'd definitely be down to do that and just show you my workflow with that. Yeah,
that would be dope because we know a lot of producers don't want to give out too much sauce, but at the end of the day, we're all of us, me, Drillbit, Myth, we're an open book. So, and it's just going to further, the Logic user, because like I said, my end game, and Myth wasn't on when I said this. My end game is for every vlog that comes on YouTube for Logic is of Logic users cooking up in big studios and all that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's my dream at the end of the day. And the only way to do that is to share the wealth and share the information. Yo, Drillbit said he misses you, Myth.
I actually love sharing stuff. And the thing is as well is the reason why I don't get so like caught up in that so much where some producers don't like to show their processes or like, maybe they're using a specific VST. They don't want to show their source, right? But for me, there's a difference between showing someone the source, but then them knowing how to use it and to implement that in their own workflow as well. So that's why I'm not too shy of sharing it because just because I'm doing it that way, it doesn't mean that they can do it that way. Does that make sense?
No,
right.
Yeah.
So, but I'm also cool with sharing it because if it's helping someone else, helps them up their game. If they find something from it that they can use themselves, that's great.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think you had mentioned the Myth that your favorite plugin. What was the favorite plugin you said your go-to?
Alchemy.
Oh, you said no. Well, it is a plugin, but it's more of a VST.
Step effects as well.
So, if you could only use one plugin for the rest of your days in Logic, not a VST, a plugin, what would it be?
I know what I would pick, but go on, Myth. What would you choose?
No, well, I know. Well, I know where Hades is getting at. He's getting that tremolo right now. I already know what he's doing.
No, I mean, Myth and I already know what our go-to plugins are. We
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
know what.
Yeah,
what
and mine is Fat Effects.
If Logic said we just got bought out by Tesla, and Tesla is trying to play games and take all the plugins away, and you have to pay for one, which is like $1,000. What would that plugin be? It could be Fat Effects. It could be Step Effects because it's not a VST. But what would that plugin be? It can't be Alchemy. It can't be ESX, whatever, because those are VSTs.
I'm actually gonna say something and put this out there, which might surprise a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But the Logic compressor.
Oh, okay, all right.
You're getting
The reason-
six.
Alright,
You're getting
that's new.
six compressors in one, so you could technically use it to make a beat, record vocals, and
True.
whatever. Yeah,
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And the reason why I say that is because Step Effects, I think I could recreate that in some way with filtering and stuff, and some other
Automation.
like, cool glitchy
yeah,
things.
automation. Yep.
But with the compressors, the way I use the compressors inside Logic, in fact, Logic was the first compressor I learned how to use an actual compressor, and I understand what it does. So I think that's maybe a little bit sentimental to me in a sense as well, So the Logic stock compressors enabled me to understand other compressors. So when I use others now, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
So
It'd be cool to try to see, give us some sauce on some Logic compressors and stuff, and what do you use for, what compressors you use for drums, and what do you use, what compressor you use for vocals.
I use a lot of it for side chaining. I love the side chaining section.
Oh, yeah.
The stock Logic compressors are really dope. And what's really cool about and what's different about the Logic compressors compared to a lot of others, right, is that you have all of the different colors and flavors in the one tab at the top that you can flick through, and they all they all give you something different. That's very rare that you can get that in a compressor or a compressor setup, because most compressors, specifically third-party ones, it's just one plug, it's just one style of compressor, right?
Right. Yeah.
A fair opt or something like that. Whereas what's cool with Logic is you can flick between the two.
Let's see what sounds better. Yeah, sounds the best.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And they're all emulations of like well-known
studio compressors, and
you've got like the Bass style compressor in there. There's a lot of different ones, so you could definitely, use those. I think. Yeah.
What
that
about
would be my choice?
What about improvements to Logic? Logic, as much as we all love Logic, there is always room for improvement, no matter how great the software is. That's with any software on this planet. So if there's one thing you would want Apple to, or the developers of Logic to improve on, what would that be? What are some of the brick walls you come across with Logic sometimes that you feel like, maybe they can put out an update for this and correct that?
There's nothing from a technical standpoint that I feel I would want them to change. The one thing, I'm big on color. So for me, the one thing I would like them to maybe potentially add in the future is like maybe where you can like buy a theme. So like maybe you could like have your own branding on the on the piano roll and things like that, just and maybe be able to adjust the color of the screen and stuff like that. I think that would be super, super cool, just for like an aesthetic type of thing. And because I'm huge on color, so colors can make me like gives me emotion to make the type of music that I want to make. Hence why I'm always in a purple room, right? So I think that would be super, super cool.
Getting right, Hades.
While you see it in my face?
Yeah.
You see it in my face? All right.
You go get
Levi, at the end of the stream, you're gonna stay on the Zoom. I'm gonna send you something to
okay, cool.
To take care of that for you.
Oh, sweet.
Right. It's nothing off the back of the
dope,
truck.
bro.
It's fully licensed and paid for. I'm gonna take care of you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm gonna take care of you.
Especially the aesthetic thing. Yeah, Hades gonna get you right for sure.
I think the aesthetic thing is a
huge, flex that.
I think
a huge thing for me.
I think with their new M platform, the M1 and now the M2 that's coming out, I think somewhere down the road that's a possibility for it to be native within Logic, right?
Yeah, I think
that'd be cool.
The only other thing I would say, from a technical standpoint, I don't know if you guys struggle with this, but sometimes the crashes can be a little. There's a couple of like little crashes I get sometimes.
Hold on, let me. Levy, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
yeah, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. We don't talk about crashes in here, man. We don't. Logic don't crash. Logic does not crash. So you know what? Let's touch on that. The crashes have to be due to like significant, like your project is just extensive. You got plugins that are in there that are just really pushing the thing to the limit. It's not like an FL random crash where you have 4 tracks.
Yeah,
and then this thing just crash, right? It's a significant usage of CPU that's forcing it to do that, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It is related to that.
Okay.
It is more CPU based.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of cool features in Logic that can help you with like the freeze feature. I don't know if you guys ever use that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, if you have a lot of
my Logic never crashed ever.
Has it not really?
Unfortunately, I can't say the same. My 2018 Mac has crashed, but these guys will tell you why. I mean, it's just my templates. My templates are just my templates are.
To be honest with you, I think every DAW suffers with some kind of crash issue, you know. But I think
really,
yeah,
you've had a crash daily, like every day.
No.
No, he said every DAW suffers some sort of crash.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
Every DAW has some kind of thing, and again, you know, you can't really put that on Logic or Apple because it really depends on your device, you know, where you are. You know, if you're like, for instance, if you're running your MacBook Pro and you've got no like free air moving around it and you've got it put on something that's, you know, it's getting super hot, you know, it's gonna crash. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So there's other elements to be a part of those, you know, crashes that happen every now and again.
That's a fact. Yeah, you know, there's certain words that we don't say on this stream. Crashing is
you
one
should
of
have
them.
warned me before I came on.
You're right. You're absolutely right. No, I think I mean it all has to do with hardware and software at the end of the day. Software, no software is perfect. I mean, the biggest software company on the planet is not susceptible to maintenance issues, crashes, and all that other good stuff. So these things happen. But overall, if your computer's up to par, you know, your projects aren't, you know, super big. If you're just making a basic melody or basic beat, Logic does not crash. You know.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. One thing which is a really cool tip, which I noticed, and I think this is just generally with technology. Once you start getting up to the end of your memory capacity in terms of like, you know, your hard drive, once you get to like maybe you've only got like 50 gigs left or something like that out of a terabyte. So I have a terabyte on my Mac. Then that's when things start to slow down a little bit. So that's when you should maybe think about moving some stuff onto hard drives, you know, SSD drives and stuff like that. That really helps.
How many terabytes did you say?
What I use a Mac 1 terabyte.
Flex alert.
Okay. All right. Say less. Big dog.
He snuck that one in too.
Big dog. I gotta start using these memes, bro. There's a lot of flexing going on here. Gotta start using these.
That's funny.
That's what's
you
up,
get a little
man.
flex in.
I need to up the RAM though. I need to up the RAM now. I definitely need to up the RAM. That needs to go up.
Okay.
Last week, Joey Dots mentioned he would like backwards compatibility of every version of Logic.
Wow, yo, that would be
that would be crazy.
That was a crazy
I was
request.
like, wow, that would be super dope.
But
so
now
it's like kind of
crazy.
If you're talking in terms of gaming, it's like going back and playing Mario, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but still have the current update as well.
It would.
So you know, because I was an advocate of the EXS 24.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I was like, that worked for me. It was super easy.
It would be more from a plug-in VST perspective, not necessarily a user interface perspective.
Oh, I see. So just grab those. Yeah, just being able to get
those
older
old school ones.
Because I would still want to use the quick sampler. and the sampler now, the current one. But I also want to be able to, that would be kind of cool to be able to go back to the EXS-24 and everything that came before the quick sampler and still be able to use that and use them simultaneously like on a project. That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
that and the piano roll, I'm good. Make the piano roll is sort of, as seamless as FL's. That's the only good thing that FL really has going for them.
Yeah.
The piano roll.
Yeah, I think that could potentially be a good one too. I'm pretty happy with how Logic is at the moment. I think it's very good value for what you get.
Absolutely.
There's so much stuff in it. Again, there's a lot of untapped stuff. There's probably a lot of stuff that we still have not tapped into, like if we ever put together,
True,
if we were still all getting in the same room, I'm sure we'd all say, oh, yo, there's this cool trick that you can do. There's this cool trick that you can do. This cool, but there's still a ton of stuff. But even if you put our three heads together, that we don't even know about, So
true.
There's so much stuff in there.
That is true.
Yo, shout out to E Dot. He just joined on the Twitch. What's good, Brody? All right.
Yeah, we're just talking about you, brother.
Yeah, we just talking about you too, man, with the backward compatibility. That's probably when he chimed. He's probably been in here the whole time. He heard his, he heard his request. He heard his request.
He heard his name and wait a minute.
Yeah.
We show up.
So like that Alexa listening to you.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
So we got your favorite, your go-to plugin if you could only pick one. We got your favorite VST. We got your suggestions to Logic as far as what could be improved, which we're gonna take care of you after the stream. I was gonna talk about the workflow, your go-to workflow and all that stuff, but we could talk about that when you share your screen. I would ask, let's talk about your production, right? So like I said, last night I did my homework. I listened to some of your beats, and I didn't get 0.1% through your catalog before I fell on FaceTime and Raspberry. I'm pretty sure it's Raspberry something, but Raspberry and FaceTime.
Cool. Yeah,
they're your most recent joints. I don't know if you remember them or not, but those two joints really stood out to me, and really took me back to a place where R&B was R&B, like real baby making music type stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have triplets if you shoot up her club tonight. You know what I mean? Like that kind of R&B. You know what I'm saying? Do you even remember those joints? Do you remember those tracks?
I do. Raspberry Ripple is actually my top selling, and it's the most streamed one. It's most popular beat.
Okay.
I make a good sale off that every now and again.
Okay.
FaceTime is a fairly recent one.
Okay.
FaceTime has for me personally, it has more of a UK edge to it slightly. It's near enough taking it into that Craig David kind of vibe, near enough, a little bit.
Wow, he said Craig David.
Nice.
7
Craig
days.
David.
Woo.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Bringing back flashbacks of exes, man.
Wow,
Jeez.
I just got an idea. Hold on.
Wow. Okay.
Craig David. Okay. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. I actually made a beat yesterday with him in mind. Well, I didn't have him in mind, but I wanted to create that old school R&B. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the garage music. Did you ever listen, tap into the garage?
Yeah.
So I created like an R&B. I'll just put it on my Instagram today if you want to go and check it out later.
I just followed you on Instagram. I thought I was already following you for some reason.
Like that R&B garage vibe. So that was a really cool something I tapped into that I've never really tapped into before. I was testing it out yesterday and I was like, oh, this
got something. Yeah,
this could be, because some of that stuff is coming back. I'm hearing some of it coming back. So I'm
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, this could be a lane I could take to it, and it came so easy to me,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Again, it's going back to what I was saying. It's all of that school of training your ears, listening to that music for years and years and years and years and years. You know what I mean?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Natural. So much so that when it comes to flipping and bouncing and chopping it up, screwing it, whatever you got to do, you know this song inside out. You know what transient to catch, what rearrangement you need to do, It's sick, and it's the kind of things we have to take advantage of. I'm not about to sit here and let the industry online or off condition me on how to compose. I'm gonna compose what I want, when I want, how I want it. You want to rap on it, great. You don't, that's fine by me too. But we also have to find that happy medium as well, right? So, you know, you want to affect change, you got to kind of follow the rules a little bit, but add your flavor to it. And then once you're able to affect change and really put your 100% flavor to something, then you can go ahead and do that. But to tell me that I have to 100%, you know, make my beats simple so the rapper can rap on it, the rapper can go kill himself and find another producer to rap, you know, find another producer to find beats for. I'm not switching it off for anyone.
The one way I look at it, and the one for me, music has to, this sounds a little bit corny, right? But music has to touch me, right? So I'm that passionate about it. If I hear something, it needs to move me, right?
Absolutely.
So if I'm making music that's moving me, I want someone else to get that same
experience
feeling.
that. Yeah, yes, sir.
For me, if I'm just sitting there making a beat just for the sake of it, because I'm thinking, oh yeah, this artist can jump on it, I think potentially, you know, it doesn't give me the same. I don't think I could just solely make beats for that reason.
Right, exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Because some of it has to, some part of that process needs to be for me as well. It sounds a little bit selfish, right? It probably does.
Not at all.
No. I totally understand. 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Because it's like after you know, something that you're passionate about and something that you're creating. And it sort of, for somebody to be able to catch a vibe that you catch from it, it's like, okay, well, you know, it's sort of affirmation for you to know that, you know what I'm saying, that you're not going insane and you're actually creating something valuable to somebody else.
Correct.
And they can actually comprehend the perspective of what you're feeling when they listen to it, or even when they create to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree 100%. I totally understand.
I'm actually very similar to that in terms of my titling as well. I mean, that's a whole nother subject, right? But when it comes to titling the beats as well, some people probably just like chuck any old title on their beat.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But I really delve in and I'm like, how is this beat making me feel? Like, what is it making me think about, you know? And that's, some people say that these titles that I have are quite random, like the Raspberry Ripple one, you know? I don't know why, but that beat just made,
that's the vibe. Yeah, that's the vibe.
Yeah, that was what I caught. So that's what I named it, you know.
Yeah, so, I name my beats all kinds of craziness too. I totally understand. I get it. Super random or whatever, you know, whatever vibe or whatever phrase or thought that you catch from it, just go with it. Hey, I do the same exact thing.
Yep.
I get
crazy. I thought it was the only one.
Nope. Shoot, if you seen some of the titles of my stuff, I'm like, okay, oh yeah, all right, well,
yeah, I wish I could pay someone to name my joints for me and just.
I've got a tip for you there for that, right? And this is something I started to do. I went for a stage of creating Eric Bellinger kind of vibes, and I know that he uses some really random words. He's quite clever with his lyrical content, right? So what I'll do is if I have a track and I've made the beat, and at the end of it I'm going, right, because I never know at the beginning who I think it's going to sound like. So for marketing purposes, you know, obviously you're using the type of thing. So I will go and listen to an Eric Bellinger track and really listen to the lyrics, and then pick something that stands out to me and use that as a title. So I think that's also really clever in a sense of, like, subconsciously when you're making a beat for someone, for that artist, and then
they're going to recognize their own lyrics. So that's good for the SEO as well.
It's
that's
good
dope.
for that. And also,
if
someone's a fan of that artist, and they might be drawn to that title because they've heard it somewhere before subconsciously as well.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
That's dope. I'm gonna apply that. That's a cool tip.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's dope. I'm gonna use that for sure.
So it really helps me if I'm struggling for titles. And I've actually got on my iPhone, you know, the notepad. If I think of a really cool title, I just write it down straight away. And then when a beat comes up, I'll go through those titles on my phone, and I mean, what one really matches that vibe.
Yeah, if the vibe matches, yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
That's a great idea. Great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna apply that. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for real. That's a gem.
Yeah.
That's a gem. I'm definitely apply that.
So I guess the workflow question, we'll get to that when you show us the project. So as agreed, I'll show you Alchemy working drums, and then we'll switch over to you. I found the DMG for the application that I'm going to send over to you. It's called LPX Colorizer.
Sweet.
And I believe this is the updated key. So I'll put that in the chat at the end of this, and then
thanks, man.
I just want to. We'll go through the install together just to make sure it goes through properly, and then you should be good to go.
Cool.
I guess I should let you see how it works on my end. Hold on 1 second.
Flex alert.
I don't even
Flex alert.
Did I install it? I don't know if I installed it yet. Let me just double check. Yeah.
He's looking at 3 screens right now, by the way.
I've got a question for you guys, actually. What is the keyboard shortcut that you use the most?
Command Z. Command Z and Command S.
Yeah, Command Z. I'm like, you're making a mistake, go back. Yeah, I'm using Command Z all the time.
Command S is my brake. Command Z is my e-brake. I don't leave home without those two. Like, although Logic, if Logic were to happen to shut down or whatever, it reopens and asks you if you want to click save or auto save.
Saved version, yeah.
Just as a habit, I like to do that.
Yeah, I'm saving a lot as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely Command Z.
All right, I'm trying to find this thing and I can't seem to find it. Just give me 1 second, fellas. Myth, you got any questions for the GOAT himself, Levi? While we wait.
Let's see if. Okay, what do you consider the best generation of music of all time? What year? What year span?
I think for me, it's a difficult one. But I think I would have to go with 2000s.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm such a big R&B head, I really liked the R&B.
So what about this? What about the 70s though?
So yeah, I mean Motown as well. I'm a huge fan of all that stuff. Obviously, being a soul head as well, and most of that R&B, that R&B vibe comes from soul. There's so much soul and emotion in it. So I do like the 70s too, but I have to just try to think of when the time in my life where music grabbed me the most and it got me through life, Right. And it was definitely the 2000s for me, where I was going, you're going through, school, you're turning from a boy into a man and that kind of thing, it's kind of a hard,
the nostalgia.
It's a hard time for a young man. So I think for me, learning about women and stuff, there's just so much that goes into it. But I think 2000s, like I'm a huge fan of like artists like Bobby Valentino, John B, Donnell Jones.
What you know about Donnell Jones and John B, brother?
That album is the greatest. To me, is the greatest album.
Like huge fan of Joe. Actually, I've seen him a couple of times. He come to the UK a few times. I've seen him live.
Joe sings "I Want to Know," right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe is probably one of the most underrated R&B singers of all time.
100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I tell you, this is something a little bit different. Producers, these are very well underrated as well. Tim and Bob.
Yes, sir. Oh, Tim and Bob, yeah.
My God.
Tim and Bob, yeah. No,
those guys.
Because they sort of took. You can see where like who they're inspired by, and then taking it to where, making it their own. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hear like the Timberland influence and everything, and them sort of elaborating on what they're influenced by and creating their own thing.
Yeah, I think they had a really good thing going on, and they brought that Asian vibe in as well, didn't they? Which was super.
Absolutely.
Super dope. Just gave another feel. But yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, shout out to Tim and Vibe. Super underrated.
Yeah, I love those guys. He actually started following me on Instagram not too long ago.
Oh, it's a flex. Okay. All right. That's a slight flex. Okay. I see what you're doing. I see how you set up that flex for yourself. Okay. I see how you did that. Okay. I see what you're doing. He set up the whole flex for himself. He alley-ooped himself.
Much.
What's
by the way, they started following me, by the way,
Well, actually, yeah, both of them did actually, but I don't think they're doing so much together now. I think Tim does a lot of stuff on his own, but Tim Kelly, yeah, he's super dope.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Super underrated. Yeah.
Yo, Levi be low key flexing indirectly. He about that flex life too.
For sure.
He's just very modest
he
about it.
Himself to the flex.
I don't even know I'm doing it.
He is Logic Pro material, boy. I'm telling you, because that's all we do. We flex our dog, no problem.
Oh, I mean, I can flex. I can really flex if you want to.
Listen, the only way we're gonna get under the skin of FL users is if we flex. You know what I'm saying? That's we want to egg them enough to where they're like, okay, it's dog war time. You know what I mean? Like it's time to get it popping. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah. All right. Let me just full disclaimer here. This is gonna be the first time I'm even loading Logic to play a project. So I think we're kind of killing two birds with one stone. The problem with the other Mac, it just couldn't handle Zoom, OBS, Twitch, YouTube, and Logic at the same time. So I had to upgrade. So
Yeah.
While I'm hearing a little bit of clicking in the background, I'm looking at the CPU right now, and everything looks to be harmonious. So let's see what happens.
That was just another flex.
Harmonious. You did.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's in the flex mode.
All right, hold on.
He's in flex mode for sure.
Hold on a second. Is this the right screen? No. One second. That is not. Yeah, this is the right screen. I gotta remember what thing this is on. Can you guys see the screen? I just lost audio. I just lost y'all audio. Why is? Yo, Levi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know this thing is every time I change scenes, it changes
black
the
hole.
zoom. Yeah, it changes back to black hole.
We hear it sort of.
So I need to just delete this thing out of my computer. All right. Can you see the screen though?
Yep.
All right, let me get your cams up real quick. 1 second. This eCam is new to me, so everything is set up, but I got to make sure everyone webcams are up. Team webcam. All right, so there's the team. And this is me. So why can I move me? Unlock. And it's just like so much that
shout out to the 90s, by the way. 90.
90s too. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That was a good, yeah. That's why I was struggling. It was either 90s or the 2000s for me.
Yeah, 90s. Well, shoot, 90s R&B and 90s hip hop is pretty much the golden era.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that I think about it, like that's definitely
Yeah.
For hip hop and R&B, that's 90s is pretty much the golden era.
I don't know why it has Myth at the top right. Myth should be below me, but it's all right as long as everyone is within frame. Levi, you're a little bit out of frame, but again, this is new to me. So
it's all good, man.
I'll get this sorted down the road. All right. So Levi, this is LPX Colorizer. So this is this is like one of the default themes. But the Colorizer allows you to choose from a slew of different
This is crazy
templates. This is it right here. So you can kind of let me move it over.
Yo, I feel like I'm in a sweet shop right now.
You can kind of switch through some of the predefined
that looks super dope
templates. But most importantly, if you're a detail-oriented type of person, you can literally go into each part of your DAW and customize it specifically.
Yo.
You know, I played around with this once and made something magical, and then I just saved it and lost the template, so I never did it again. And I mean, you have a whole list of themes to like.
That's crazy.
Not have to drill down into something specific. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll send you the DMG.
Ooh, that is fire.
And the license, and then you know, you can kind of tinker around with that.
Sweet, yeah, I appreciate that. It's super cool.
Trust me, there's a lot of toys we're gonna put you on to. I can't hit you with everything one shot. We got to give you incentive to come back as a guest and come kick it with us. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I promise you, I got a lot of toys for you, man. A lot of good toys.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of flexing to do. For sure.
I got a lot of toys for you, man. I don't know. Let me see some here. Oh, what's this? What's this? What the hell?
Oh yeah, see, he's flexing right now. He's about to alley-oop himself right now.
What is that? I've never seen that before. That's strange. All right, let me stop flexing. All right. Next time you join the stream, I'll tell you what that is. But it's definitely
what's this? What's this right here?
It helps the workflow for sure. Definitely helps the workflow. All right. So let me just show you Alchemy real quick and how I have the drums all set up. All right, drum stack. So, yo, Myth trying to get me. It's just a little something, nothing crazy. You dig? All right, so a little back.
Literally look at the waveform and tell that it's going to sound correct.
You stupid. A little backstory on why I ended up using Alchemy for drums, right? So at the time we had ESX24. It was bad enough I wasn't a big fan of ESX24 because of just the look of it, the interface. To me, it was just an eyesore. But I didn't like the fact that I had to either do what Myth does, which Myth has all of his drums loaded into ESX24, a quick sampler. So he just has to go through the drop down and find what he wants and puts it in.
Yep.
I felt like there had to be a more efficient way to do it, like to go through drums. I didn't want to have to go through a finder window to go through my drums. I didn't want to use the browser in Logic because I found out recently that if it's not in a certain bit, it won't play. Right?
Okay.
So there's been times where I'm clicking on a sound in the browser in Logic, it's not playing. I don't understand why. And come to find out, if it's bounced out in a certain bit or a certain format, it won't play out. So I needed a more efficient way to toggle through the drums and all this other good stuff. So I started messing around with Logic. Logic has 4 sources, and within those 4 sources, I can technically have 4 different drum kits. So in this case, I have a drum kit by Prod DB. I have a drum kit in Source B for Southside. I have another one for Producer Grind and another one for Producer Grind as well. So before I even start a project, I have 4 drum kits that I can choose from for claps, right?
That's tight.
So I can start off with the Prod DB clap, but then if I want to switch it up, I can just easily turn this off and move over.
Okay.
Or I can stay within his frame and just toggle within Prod DB's drum kit, right? So it gave me full control over multiple drum kits within Alchemy. So I get 4 drum kits, all of which I can toggle through while the beat is playing and not skip a beat. If I want to really, really flex, I can take 2 claps and merge them into one and not even have to create a second track lane to do that.
That's
and
cool.
On top of that, I have all of these effects, the filters and everything that I can add to these sources. You feel me? So that was the biggest reason why I went with Alchemy, because it was just seamless. You know, it's very rare that I have to come out of these drum kits because these are the go-to drum kits when I make my beats. But if I do, I just click on it, go in, find the kit, and then boom, that kit will load up all the sounds within that kit. The only downside to Alchemy, which wasn't a downside before when it came to drums, was that for whatever reason, I can no longer save my favorites in here. I don't know how I got drum kits to stay in here, but if I wanted to save Prod DB or Southside or whoever's drum kits in this lane, I can't do it, and I don't understand why. I don't know what I did to get this to stay, but for the life of me, I can't get folders to stay under favorites. So clearly there's something I'm missing, something I was doing before that I am not doing now, and I can't figure it out. But otherwise, it's improved my workflow, something drastic. You know what I mean? So,
No, that's a good.
so
I'm gonna do that for a couple of kits as well, and just have some to where I can easily flip through the alchemy or use the quick sampler. Because I like that blend thing. That blend thing that's dope. That's gonna be something special.
That is cool actually, because I like to mesh. Sometimes you don't want to just use one clap. Say you might want to use like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But being able to blend them in gives you something different as well, because it's now going to give you a different vibe potentially. That's super cool. I like that.
Well, I need to thank Myth and Tech, because when I was making, there was another beat I was making. Actually, the beat that you heard in the intro music, not the black screen, but the intro music when I was playing all the different producer YouTubers that were critiquing our beats. That first beat, Myth and my boy Tech was helping me out with. And Tech and Myth were like, yo, the snare is just not hitting hard enough. You know what I mean? You need to put something there to make it fuller. And then we went into Alchemy and we added another snare in there, and we just panned one a little bit to the right, put the other one a little bit to the left, and then boom, that was it. And ever since that day, I was like, you know what? Whether it's a clap, a snare, even 808s, I'm using Alchemy to layer those bad boys, because I don't need an extra track lane, and I don't need a second instance of Alchemy that's just gonna pull from my CPU and make things harder, So it kind of works out. So the same
now
thing.
On the like, say if you added another instance of a clap or whatever, and like the third one, now can you put effects on that section separately than the other?
Yeah, so that's
like a reverb or a delay or.
That's a good question. So let me go back to because the 808 is a custom. Where's my flex button?
Flex.
Where's my flex button? Yeah, the 808. It's a custom 808. So it doesn't apply to what we're talking about here. But yeah, at the bottom here under effects, you have the main, which covers the master of Alchemy, and then sources A, B, C, D, which covers each of these sources.
Yeah.
So by default, I have them set. Okay. I have them set with an amp, right? So in the event that it's too low and I want to gain stage, I gain stage it through the amp. I don't gain stage it through the knobs on the sources or the master or even the mixer. I gain stage it through the amp itself and give it that little. The amp is the equivalent of the boost knob.
Gain plugin.
Oh, the drive, right?
Yeah. No. Amp gain and volume are two different things, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Gain and volume have more in relation to each other than amp. Amplitude doesn't deal with the increase and decrease in volume or velocity. Amp is more taking that full transient and simply boosting that whole transient up, in my opinion, at least from my experiments with it. Because trust me, I've tried the volume, I've tried the amp, and I've tried the gain, and the amp boosts the transients more than bringing the volume up on the mixer or using the gain. So that's why I chose amp over just boosting it via the sources.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's like putting it through a transformer.
Correct.
Kind of thing.
But to Myth's question, you can go in, you can add your reverb. You have an acoustic reverb, a classic, a convolution, which is the one I use for my hi-hats. You get your ADSR here, so you can size it up. You can mess with the attack, the cutoff, pre-delay, size, dry, wet, stereo. It's all here.
Oh yeah.
And then and then you got your presets as well. I mean, you got some presets you can rock with. So I definitely use this on my hi-hats, just to eliminate CPU usage on the strip. If it's already in the VST, why use an external? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just my opinion. And then so that's
dope.
What I use.
Super dope.
I use Alchemy for the drums. I mean, seeing though we're already in here, I mean, you might as well hear how it sounds and how it works. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna go into that.
Flex alert.
I'm gonna just need 1 second. I just need to grab some water real quick. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second.
No, he's about to flex right now. He's literally alley-ooping himself to another flex right now. That's what he's doing. He's not getting water right now. He's
creating tension. That's what he's
exactly. Doing. Yeah. He's making us wait for it. Wait for the flex. I'm gonna start. But yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna use alchemy for a couple of my drum situations. Because I use alchemy just in general, just for the sounds alone. Like the sounds in alchemy are just really dope, and like I like how they blend some sample based stuff with, synthesis. Dope, super dope.
That's what's cool about it. It is literally just a sampler instrument, but like you say, it's got synthesis in there. So it's just like a more complex version of the quick sampler in a sense.
Yeah.
All right. So after I play the track, I'll show you the custom 808 and how we made it in alchemy.
Cool.
And like I said, man, you practically gain like. This was an interview, and we're still in the interview because you're going to share your screen. But it's like you were with us since day one. Like it's very organic how you're in the stream with us, and we're chopping it up about Logic stuff. So it feels natural. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, man. I'm the easiest guy you'll ever meet. So yeah,
we're definitely gonna put you on the game. All right. So here's the comp. It's called Better. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Missing some plugins. So that the 808 on that one, I'm definitely missing plugins because I lost a lot of width in the track. But
yeah, no, I was just about to say that when you shared your screen, did you do the high fidelity thing?
Actually, because of Ecamm. So how did it sound when it came through?
It didn't sound stereo. It sounded mono. That's why I asked.
Un momento, por favor. I knew there was something wrong. But do I need to share my screen? Because you guys can see out. You can see Logic through Ecamm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Let's test it.
But just the sound, it sounded mono.
Because keep in mind, this is the first time I'm even sharing the screen. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna work. No input. Can you hear me? So how did I lose you guys altogether? What the hell? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
yeah.
was some
Yeah, but now I
Okay,
have,
shoot, you
I
got
have
your samples
I
now.
don't
You
hear
got some
anymore.
samples to,
I was about to sample some of that stuff.
yeah,
It was
for real.
That was giving me
What the hell's
some
going on
strange
here?
old patterns. That
One
was.
second.
For real.
I hear no one now. What the hell is going on? What's this? You guys
I can hear
you
you.
guys can hear me, right? But I
Yeah.
can't hear you. 1 second. Okay, so that's a bug I got to figure out.
Now, mind you,
all
this is
this.
him. He's gonna flex something else about this. He's gonna find a way to flex something.
Steinberg.
See what I'm saying?
Steinberg. How about now?
I can hear you.
I hear Myth laughing.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, I hear Myth laughing now. Am I coming through clear?
Yeah.
Okay, but you guys are coming in glitchy for some odd reason. Let me see, black hole. 1 second. Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, coming in a little bit glitchy, but that's okay. Let me shut down. Well, let me show you the alchemy real quick before I shut this down. I definitely got to. That's probably what I didn't test when I started the trial, was the share, because I figured since you guys could see, because you guys could see logic through Ecamm without me sharing Zoom, there would be no reason for me to have to share Zoom. But I'm figuring there's probably some function in Ecamm that allows me to share the audio in a brighter stereo. So I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I'll figure that out. But as far as the 808, right? So after a conversation with Myth and Drill about sublabs, it's like, you know what? I'm an alchemy boy. I'm making 808s from scratch with stock plugins.
Flex.
So this one, I mean, with this 808, I actually used someone else's 808 and just put a kick underneath it. But what I did is I added a wave shaper. So the wave shaper is what's going to give the grit to that 808 at the end of the day. But by default, custom 808s, additive, I think it is this one, I think. Nope. Yeah, it is this one. So source B is actually a sine wave. So to make any basic 808 tone, you'll use, you use the sine wave for the base of it. I'll throw a little bit of filter, the stock filter on there, a little bit of grit on there, give it a little bit of drive and resonance. And then I'll go straight to the wave shaper, and then I'll start adding some sort of default shape or whatever. And then you have all the other effects to make it even more distorted, distortion or whatever. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, then you got, JMYTH fat effects for the saturation or exciter or whatever the case is. So trust me when I tell you, everything you need out the box with Logic is there to do anything your brain can imagine, really. It's just how broad is your horizon? You know what I'm saying? Like how creative can you possibly be? And how diligent are you to figure it out on how to do it in Logic? Because it can be done. This thing can do anything, in my opinion, anything you tell it to do, if you can figure out how to do it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So
Superior DAW.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Now I just got to figure out how to get the Superior DAW to work seamlessly with Ecamm. But yeah, so yeah, if you can, let's see what happens when you share your screen. This is going to be interesting.
Cool. Let me try it.
He's about to flex now. Okay. Yeah, some in the host.
Just start up. Was it? Did you need to show you one of those tracks?
Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those tracks or any project. I mean, really, we just want to get a sense of your workflow and how you go about doing things.
Cool. Okay, then.
I guess I should be happy that the CPU barely peaked at all when I ran the project.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was
Flexing again.
Yeah, it is.
that was a template. That was a light template. So it was all stock plugins, by the way, that beat. No third-party
Template
plugins.
Flex.
But the other template is the real test. So I will walk this Mac right back to Apple. Like, listen, man. I don't know what y'all sold me, but I'll wait for the M3.
You know what I mean? It done passed through your template test. You gotta get that right.
Yeah, so when you're ready, you can go ahead and share through Zoom if you haven't already.
Yeah, Logic. I never had Logic open up.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just opening it up in case.
All right, let me.
I didn't want just in case it was affecting. You know?
I don't know why every time I change scenes, I gotta figure that out. It realigns everything. It's strange. Myth was sitting perfect in his frame, and now I gotta move him over.
Question: Do you any of you guys? Whilst I'm still waiting for this slide, do any of you guys use hardware as well?
I started off on hardware.
Do you? Did you really?
Yeah, I was core Triton. I was
right, cool.
Core Triton all the way.
I think Drillbit uses hardware. I don't know if he's still on. Maybe he can confirm.
Yeah, I use a couple of pieces. Recently, I've only just started delving into the hardware, just some stuff, just some outboard gear. And I've got myself it's not quite the Neve, but it's like a clone version, the 1073. And then I also got myself the bus compressor. That's something I use a lot.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that during the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a flex.
That was a flex for sure.
That's a flex for sure.
That was a flex,
It seems like everyone loves to flex around here.
Yes, it's definitely a place where you can own your flexing skills.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely, for sure.
That's a fact.
I'm just trying to figure out what project to show you guys.
Oh yeah, see another flex. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna make me push. He gonna make me push the button, man. He gonna make me push the button. Su Young.
Oh yeah.
Su Young, should I push the button? Su Young, should I push the button? All right, Su Young. I gotta push the button because Su Young. I said I gotta push it. Su Young said push it, so I gotta push it. You know what I mean? Su Young don't play around.
I'll just go with this kind of R&B track that I created yesterday. I might as well just start and show you guys that one.
All right, bet.
Give you an idea of how this came about.
Yo, Myth, how's the audio on your end?
It's a little choppy.
You're getting choppy
and a little delayed, but
yeah.
All right. Let me close this out. I got a whole bunch of browsers open, but I need most of them. But let's see what I can get rid of. Let's close this. Let's close this one. Yeah, I may have to downsize the studio at some point. Yeah, I feel like, because I'm looking at the CPU usage, it says 16% of the system is using the CPU, which is nothing, and 20% of the user is using the CPU, and that's me, and that's still nothing. So the fact that it's glitchy makes me wonder if it's not all the hardware hooked up to it or what. Like right now, I don't hear any glitching. You hear any glitching right now?
No, it seems okay right now.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, so I just got.
I think this is just some feedback.
Yeah.
So like we can hear ourselves.
Yeah.
We should be there in a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
CPU
take your time.
Percentage flex.
No rush.
Caught it.
In the meantime, I'll let Myth know that I lost 2 bands in poker past couple days.
Oh,
Yeah, I took a massive hit, mainly because I got into a tournament, lost the tournament. I could have won it, 35,000 guaranteed first place. I could have took it. I could have took it all the way home, and I made a stupid play on day 2, and I was really emotional about it. So I went straight to the cash game right after, and I just donked off 2,000 like nobody's business. So
man.
So today I made $1,000 back this morning.
See how he sets up his own flex.
So after the stream, I'm gonna go back to the casino and make the rest back. You know what I'm saying? I got to.
I hear you.
He has the cash and the credit to turn out your lights.
You know what I mean? So.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man.
So yeah, you know, I lost 2 bands. Then I just made 100 back just now. Then I'm gonna go made a rack back. Go make another rack tonight.
And I lost 600 on XRP, son.
So,
we need to have a meeting about crypto.
Yeah, and I lost 600.
you see my?
Yep. We see you. Yeah, we see you flexing.
Yeah, we see you. Let the Twitch. I just need the Twitch to update real quick.
Zoom audio.
Why is the Twitch not updating? Hold on. I gotta figure this out. If you're sharing the screen through my Zoom, I think I have to kill the virtual cam, I think. Yes, no, maybe. Let's see. Why is this not updating? OBS virtual cam, FaceTime. Are you guys still seeing this? Still seeing the stream through Zoom?
Yeah, we see Levy's screen.
Yeah, but the audience doesn't see it. That's the problem I'm having right now.
Oh, let me see.
I turned off the virtual camera. I turned off the virtual camera. Let me see something here. If I go to segment. Yeah, virtual camera's turned off, so we should be able to see his screen right now. But Zoom's not allowing that to happen for some odd reason. So I got to put that on the list. Let me see. Side-by-side gallery, standard. Let's see if standard changes that. Yeah, standard doesn't change it either. So let's do this. I'm going to do a window capture specifically for him and see if that corrects it. 1 second. Sorry about that. Window capture should be this one. And we want to capture primary display or secondary. We want to capture Zoom. Zoom meeting. Is that the one? Active system. Yep. All right. And then we want to fix the edges. Yo, Ecamm is so dope, man. I'm telling you. I just wish it was free. All right. So now we should see it on the stream. Yo, E-Dot, you're still on the stream. It's showing on your end, right? Yeah, we're good here. Okay. So we got it up on your screen here. We just got to see. Can you guys hear me? Oh, did I lose you guys' audio again? Shit. Because I don't hear these guys now. Why can't I hear them? Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? No audio. Hold on. I just want to make beats, man. I just want to hear people's beats and make beats. I don't want to deal with all these technical issues. Hold on. Black hole. No wonder. Ugh. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
We heard you the whole time.
I got to take
Was it the black hole?
black
again?
hole again.
You need to get rid of that. You need to get rid of that. From you.
Immediately. The moment we get off the stream, it's out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm actually gonna just play the master track.
Yeah.
Just,
That's fine.
See if you guys can hear that, just to make sure the sound's coming through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that coming through? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When you shared the screen, did you put it on high fidelity?
How do I do that?
All right.
The sound wise.
Sound wise, so you got to come out of the share.
Yep.
And then when you hit share again at the bottom left corner, you're gonna see a little box that says sound, but to the right of that, there's gonna be a little drop down.
Optimize for video clip. Okay, cool.
No, not that one.
Oh yeah, I got you. Oh yeah, yes, got it. Yep, just clicked it.
Yep.
Boom, done.
Right.
So that should work now.
Yep.
There
Perfect.
we go.
Let's try
that.
now. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that coming out
much
good?
better. Yes.
Oh.
Sweet,
Much
okay.
better.
What the hell?
Let's go. So this was a track I actually made last night. I was up till 5 o'clock or
Nice.
4 a.m. making this. Yeah, I got inspired. I don't know what it was. I saw something on TikTok. I was like, I'm just gonna go make a beat. So that's what I did.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll give you a snippet. That's the step effects filter on the vocals.
Yep.
I'm gonna plug that one.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's like some of that
Right.
old school R&B.
You didn't have to stop there. You could have let the hook come back in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I'll keep
You
it
know what
going
I
if
mean?
you
Let
like.
it ride, brother. Go to flex.
I'm a huge fan of this bass sound. 2 bass sounds I've got going on here.
And that was in retro synth.
I think one of them is. I know one serum. Oh, reactor. So no.
Fire. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, fire.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, that's a
Some
vibe.
like,
Yeah.
some like
That's
Craig
a vibe
David,
for sure.
That's a vibe.
Craig David type of vibe.
I
Fire.
see you're the poster boy for stack folders like myself.
Yes. Yeah, I use those all the time. In fact, my template's already set up. So this is actually pretty much what my template looks like. Apart from I've added some additional, different drums and stuff. I like to layer a lot, as you can see. Like, I've got a lot.
Yeah.
I've got 2 kicks going on here.
And these
The
are
other-
these
the
are
other-
summing
the other
stacks,
thing-
right?
These all summing stacks,
Okay.
yeah. And then when you go to the mixer, they're all there, so I can collapse them. I can get them all in one window. And the reason why I do that as well is because I like with drums, I like to process them individually, you know, for certain things, but also like to process them as a group.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like a bus, you know, as you would do on a console or something like that. So I'm gluing the track together basically as I'm going along.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I know Hades definitely understands the template. The template boys is in the building.
Levi, when hopefully by next week, I gotta test everything after what happened today with the screen share and everything. I gotta sort that out. But when you see my template, man, you're gonna
it's actually hilarious. This template is actually so extensive that it's funny.
And it's not just random stuff I'm just throwing in there that
it's all
has
specific.
no
They're
purpose.
all specific to
everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. So
I've got my template is very basic. I have a couple of different ones. I have one template if I'm literally just going to make samples or like melodies, because some days you just don't feel like making a beat and you might want to make some melodic stuff. So then you know, go and make those and then bounce those out. And then if you want to go back and use those melodies later on, or if you're thinking about using them, putting them in some kind of pack or, you know, giving it out to other producers for collabs.
Nice.
So I have a template just for that. Then I have a template for if I'm making like a specific type of beat, which I don't normally do, but I have a couple of artists that I work with that want this particular sound. And it's like, you know, like the house music where it's just like four on the floor.
Four on the floor, yeah.
I have a template set up for that because I've got a special way of because those tracks are heavy on side chaining. So like everything's ducking and everything's pumping. So I have a special template for that because I have a track already set and designated for side chaining already. I use like the signal processor in Logic and just drop the volume right down on the fader and then just use that as the side chain.
Have you ever used the have you heard of the A1 trigger gate?
Yes, I have. Yeah, but I like to do it. I like to do it manually because sometimes you might not want. There's just a couple of other little cool side chain plugins that I use. Step Effects has some really cool filtering stuff in there if you want to mess around with that. In fact, I want to show you that what you can do with that Step Effects quickly.
Nice. Yeah.
For people that don't use it that often. So this vocal came straight from arcades. Why can't you hear that? That should be coming out. Oh, you can hear that.
Because you have it frozen?
No, it's not frozen.
No, the freeze function. It looks like the freeze function is on, no?
No, it's not. Why is that? Hold on a second. Let me just. 31. Let's go into 31. Oh, that's weird. That's really strange. Why there's no sound coming out.
So what are those blue power buttons next to each track on the left?
These.
No, up to the left. Look at the grid, the transport screen, all the way up, left, up, left.
Oh, up here.
No.
Left.
Right there.
Oh,
next to each track.
No, the power buttons next to each track. The blue.
Oh yeah, no, they've all switched on. Yeah, no, they've all switched on. They're all on. That's just basically you can just disable it if you want.
So that's not keeping it from playing the track?
No, that's not keeping it. I think it's because of the way I'm routing this.
Okay.
Actually, I know exactly what it is. My bad. It's because I'm using this IO plugin. So when you're right, so what this IO plugin is, it's going out to my flexing bus compressor.
Yeah, see.
Flex. Hold on. Let me put
And
it
it's
on.
actually-
The flex
I gotta push the
alert.
button. I gotta push
It's
the button
actually
on that.
routing to the wrong channel. That's why. And I'm like, why?
Flex alert. Flex
Yeah,
alert.
it is.
And now give it some razzle-dazzle.
I'm just gonna need. I don't need that for now. But basically, right. Let me turn off all of the effects. So this was just a couple of arcade stuff that I've actually played in, and then I've actually bounced it out into audio.
Yeah.
Hold on. There you go. Okay. So then I've just got your fab filter, giving it some of that. Then some side chain that's off the kick. And then the old step effects.
Yep.
And I just chose the simple deep space. Let it do its thing.
Yep. It's very similar how I use it as well.
I mean, there's so many
Nice.
ways ways you could use that.
Yep.
But for this one, because it was just moving,
Yeah.
it just gave it. So if I was to play it without, if it was just
Dry, it wouldn't be as
with
ambient.
It's cool.
Yeah. It still works, but
then with the
just added an extra element.
the logic. I mean, there you go. Let's just give it some. The other cool thing, because I like doing stuff like that, but I don't know about you guys, but I don't like spending too much time doing automation. That's not one thing I love doing.
Right.
I have got some automation on this, but I think it's for panning effects.
Yeah.
What
That's similar here.
What are some of your issues? What are some of your issues with using the automation?
It's just time consuming, but there is a cool tool that I use for automation. So using the marquee tool. So I don't know if you guys use that, but
I do.
Let me show you. Marquee tool. So if you press command, no, for this case, it's the wrong one. I need that tool selected. Marquee tool. So if I press command here, it brings up my. So if I wanted to change automation just for this part, I could grab that and just go bonk, bonk, bonk.
Oh yeah, no, Hades, Hades does the exact same thing. He has it in his template set up already.
It's in my template.
But
you wanna let me give you
hilarious.
Let me give you a tip though. Let me maximize this. I was trying to crop the screen. Hold on one second. Let me just fix this real quick. We don't need a border for that. Let's crop this, because clearly I'm going to need this moving forward when other people share their screen. So I might as well get this right now instead of dealing with it later. And people don't need to see your doc, so I'm going to cover that up. They don't need to see the top of your screen, so we'll cover that up. And that should be good for now, I think. That should be good for now. All right, so we're up here. All right, so here's some sauce for you. Go ahead and where it says Snap Smart. Snap Smart.
Oh yeah. Automation,
right.
Snap automation.
So I set this to active and I set it to bar to ensure that when I use the marquee tool to do my automation, it creates the automation literally on the grid. I don't know if you've noticed when you use smart and not have this active and on the bar, from this perspective and this range on the grid, it looks like it's creating the automation line for you on that line, but it really isn't. If you expand it all the way out, it is off by like a lot.
Yeah,
but
I
if-
know it's that. Sometimes you might have to go in.
make sure that-
Oh, that's cool.
and line it back up. But if you set it to active and you set it to bar, and I think if you have it to snap to zero crossing or something like that, every time you do it, it will always be directly on the line. It'll never be ahead of it or behind it.
That's cool.
Because my template has a gang of automation, which you'll see probably next week. It's a little ridiculous.
I mean, I do
it's
use
crazy.
it. I do use automation, but it's very rare. In a track like this, you probably would use more. I was actually thinking about using more, particularly in this track, because the style it is, for the build-ups and the breaks and stuff. I was actually potentially thinking about adding some reverb to the bass just for this part of the section, so I would need automation for that. What I used to do in the past, by the way, to save me from doing automation, is I would actually create separate track. I would create duplicate tracks and then just drag the part down where I wanted.
I still do that. I still do that sometimes.
Sometimes I do that. It just depends. I mean, if it's something that I really want done quickly, then I'll just do it.
Yep.
But I do like automation. It works really well in Logic. I do like how it works. And you can, have some fun with it. I like where you can write it as well yourself, so you could move the parameters yourself and like just do some crazy, like you was, actually acting on an analog synth and you was just moving all the knobs, It's kind of cool.
It's funny you said that, because that's what I was doing, not as of late, but probably last year. I was heavy into mapping, having Logic learn the knobs on my MIDI keyboard, and then kind of drawing in the automation that way for swells and little things like that. So yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to put the automation in. I mean, you could draw it in. I mean, Flex Alert. I have a a touchscreen. I have two touchscreen monitors. And I have a touchscreen pen. So if I want to flex, sometimes I'll just use the pen. Just to if I want to be more hands on with it, you know what I'm saying? If I want to be more hands on, I'll just draw it out with the pen. You know what I mean? And all that good stuff. But there's plenty of ways to do it. I mean, you can use the faders on the MIDI keyboard, the knobs on the keyboard. You can draw it in with the mouse. Use the marquee tool. Yeah, whichever. I mean, even with the remix,
you can even have the plugin open or and just move the knob. Like you said, with the mouse.
Exactly.
Manually if you want to.
Exactly. I mean, and
there is one thing that
I didn't really get put onto it until they updated Logic with Remix Effect, and I was watching a tutorial on how you can use the automate the
automation for the
effects. I was like, really? That means I could do that with pretty much any plugin then, if that's the case.
You can,
and then
you can do it for anything, even third party ones. You can literally map anything to it. It's pretty dope. Like you can actually go in really deep. So if any of you use Fab Filter for your EQ. So for here, look, you've got all of these like different things you can go in and change the parameters for. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty robust.
It's crazy.
You can proper go in depth with automation. One of the cool things that I actually wanted to share with you guys, because I think this is something that not a lot of people do, because Logic is like probably for me personally is the closest door to get to a console in the terms of how the mixer works. It feels a little bit more hardware workflow-ish, but obviously in the digital realm, if that even makes any sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
So I actually treat Logic like this, like a tape machine. So I don't know if you see this like sub bus here, if you like. I've got a mix and a master track, which is in the main window, and what I do is I route all of the individual buses, so like the drum bus, the bass bus, whatever other instruments I've got, into an instrument bus, which is where I do all my processing on for mastering, right? I've also got a Vox bus as well, which I have. The reason why I have that is because if an artist comes back to me and says, hey, can you mix and master this track for me? I've already got the Vox bus set up. All I would need to do is drag the vocals into this project, and then I could go back and do some minor changes if I needed to. So I have that in there. and then both of these channels here go into the mix bus. Sorry, goes into the mix bus, and then the mix bus is the audio from the mix bus is coming into these two channels. So all I would need to do right now is arm that track, press record, and that will record the whole beat. So I'm doing it in real time. So it's acting like a tape machine. And there's a couple of reasons why I do this. One, because I've got a mix and a master, so it enables me to have an unmixed version and a mastered version a mixed version and a mastered version, you know, for uploading purposes, or if you're using it for different things. So it's given me flexibility. It also gives me the flexibility if I'm adding vocals back in, I've got the mix already there. I can refer back to that if I want to, or I can just you know, use the main mix that I used before. So I'm basically just recording it back into Logic. So I never use the bounce. I very rarely use the bounce feature. The only time I would is now I would click on this, and then I would export as an audio file, and then just put that in whatever folder I needed to do.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's fine.
So I'm treating Logic like it's a tape machine, basically.
Nice. I'm gonna use some of that sauce.
Flex
And
alert.
it's
For sure.
the cool.
Yeah, that's a flex for sure.
That's a big
The cool
flex.
thing about doing it this way too is I'm quite visual as well when it comes to waveforms. So after something's mastered, I can usually tell if it's going to translate well in other places just by looking at the wave.
Yeah, you don't have to pick the box, the super block,
Yeah,
all the way through.
so I can tell if this thing's got dynamics in it. So that's another reason why I'd like to record it in, because I think if I, you know, press Command B right now and it starts bouncing all this stuff out, I feel like I'm stuck with that, and then that's the file I've just bounced out. Whereas here I've got more flexibility. I can see it before I even realize.
You can literally look at the waveform and know that it's going to sound.
The other reason why I do this as well, which is probably something that a lot of people don't think about as well, is if I have the mix track here, right, and then I'm using the mix track and I'm mastering the mix track, I can do some additional post processing or adjustments. So if I wanted to like add a drop in there, I could just take a section out rather than actually going and taking it out of all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool.
If I wanted to add some additional fading, so if I really wanted to like do that to it, you know, create some tension, like, build it up.
Oh, you shouldn't have showed Myth that. Myth is the poster boy for that fade tool.
Yeah. No, I use the fade tool a lot.
Yeah,
a lot is an understatement.
I mean, you can use automation for that, but you would probably have to do it on every single track if you wanted to.
Exactly.
It just, for me, it just gives you a little bit more control about with the track itself. You know, you can do a bit more.
Levi dropping sauce. Jesus, he dropping gems today, boy.
No, yeah, for real.
You can also
I'm already in the mode where it's like, okay, I'm gonna incorporate that on my next project.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you can also test out some different masters as well. You might want to try some different plugins or something. You know, so if you've got the mix track in the project already, it's already bounced. You know the mix is dope. You know you've got the mix to where you want it. The other thing is, as I said, there's so many reasons why you want to do this. Obviously, with the mix track, you're going to leave headroom for the artist to jump on it, right? Generally. So if the artist reaches out to you and says, "Yo, can you give me just the mix version?" Boom, it's there, it's done.
Right there. Yeah.
So if I'll send this track out, this master one out as a demo, and then if the artist come back to me and says, "Yeah, I'm down for that," I don't necessarily have to send him all the stems. I can just send him the mix because I'm happy with how the mix sounds.
Right. Yeah.
He can then just add his vocals on top and let his engineer do his bit.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's fine.
A couple of different reasons why I would use that.
So you basically record the mix. So I mean, you record the project directly into the master or the mix bus.
So what I've done, what I've got here, right? I've got all my individual tracks, and then I've got the summing buses right here where I can do all the processing on that. So then what I'm doing with this is I'm sending, if you have a look, if I highlight all of these, like that, then they're all set to bus 31, right? So they're all routed to bus 31, which is the instrument bus, right? So this is where all of the instrumentation is going to, yeah?
Gotcha.
Then if I wanted to, if this was like the artist vocals, I could then route that to the Vox bus, which is this one here. And then I could independently process that differently to the instrumentation.
Gotcha.
If I wanted to like add some additional DS in, like compress all of the tracks together, I wanted to glue them, add another bus compressor on there if I wanted to. And then both of these tracks are routed to the mix bus.
Mix bus, got you.
32.
So the instrument bus and the Vox bus are already going to the mix bus.
They're already going to the mix bus. And then basically these two channels here are taking audio from the input is 32, which is where this is, which is where these are going out. So this basically, these tracks are routed through here. The reason why I need that channel open is so I can record, because they're going through it. The way it works is that I need these to go to that mix bus, so then I can record in from there. I could technically, if I wanted to, just set. Yeah, as you can see, look, 32. So that's the input.
And you just arm the mix or the master track and then record directly in there.
So this is my master chain. I could switch all of that off, arm the mix track, play it through, and then once that's done, I could actually move all of that to here if I wanted to.
Right.
Or I could just record, straight from that track, and then that's all of the master chain on there as well.
Nice.
So
nice. Yeah, that's some gems. I'm definitely
incorporate that. You're basically
gives you more freedom.
That, and you're just. I also, for some reason, one of the other reasons why I do that as well is because when you're recording back into audio, all of the plugins, the VSTs, everything that you've got running is running in real time. So for me, I also feel, like Logic it's allowing the track to breathe and play. You know what I mean? It's just a weird concept, but it's just like, I don't know. For me, it just. I don't think it makes much of a difference in terms of the audio quality if you're just going to choose bounce it out or do it this way. I just think, I don't know.
No, it gives you more freedom too, because you can just sort of experiment with, like, if you want.
Yeah, like if I wanted to take a bit out.
If
I wanted to take a bit out, I could just cut a bit out, do some fade in, or if I wanted to do, like, I don't know, if I wanted to do some slowdown. Shit or something,
I do that a lot.
I could maybe like do something like this. I don't know. Make it stutter a little bit. You know what I mean? If I wanted to do some weird shit.
You just want to get freaky with it, you can go in there.
And you if you wanted to, like, if you were a DJ as well, this would be another reason why you might want to have this, because you can play around with that inside Logic itself,
Nice. Yeah, big gems, major gems. I appreciate that. I appreciate that insight.
Less than 2 hours.
I'm definitely going to incorporate that.
In less than 2 hours, Levi about to have us level up.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you guys are going to be able to, like, teach me some stuff too. But I guess this is not a Logic specific trick. I think it works well inside Logic because of the way the workflow works in Logic in terms of the buses and everything like that. I'm not sure if this is something that you could do in FL or something else, So for me, this just gives you some extra, an additional flex.
Yes, sir. That is flexing. Man, I appreciate that. That's major gems.
That is
major gems.
And that's something else which is super cool as well, which I do quite often. Is if I'm doing like synths or like pad sounds, I will generally bounce them out to audio, right? Because again, to give me some more flexibility. And what I generally do with one of them, for this one, for instance, I've actually transposed this one slightly, but I use this fine tune, and I usually take it down by about 5 or 7, depending either way. And sometimes I'll layer, and it adds so much thickness and gives you like a chorusy kind of effect. It's actually really dope, and it's near enough, like, you know, if you want something that's like slightly out of tune, but it sounds good.
To give it more rugged, give it more raw, rugged feel.
Yeah,
that's dope.
This fine tune thing is super dope inside Logic. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
See, I would do it like I would do that. I would use that same approach, but I would do it inside of the VST.
Okay, cool.
Whatever I'm using for the synth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just like the way that this
though.
works here. Like, I don't know if you can hear this. So I did the same with this. I actually took it up an octave. So this was the original sample, and then I've took it up an octave. So just to like, the other reason why it's cool to put stuff in audio, because you can do stuff like this, like reverse it.
Yeah.
I think I use step effects on that as well. There you go, step effects. There
it is, step effects, the GOAT already.
See, for like transitions and stuff, man, step effects, people are sleeping on it.
That's a big fact.
I use it, and since I upgraded to 10.7, it's on everything that I've done, every project. I have step effects somewhere, and fat effects as well.
Yeah, fat effects. I mean, you'll see, I've actually got fat effects on my kick drums. There you go. Look.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
And I'm using a bit of all.
Tastefully,
and you know,
tastefully.
something I've noticed with this too is that, you know, like usually when you're adding saturation, sometimes it boosts the RMS. With fat effects, it doesn't. So you can get your kicks sounding fatter and bigger without
and it's still hitting where you want
without taking up all that headroom that you need for the mastering, for the limiting. So that's another cool thing about this.
That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact.
And then if you really want to, I mean, you can turn on the compressor and even bring it down even more if you want to, you know.
You could.
And then on some sounds, the bass enhancer is pretty cool on some sounds because you could pick the frequency that you want to boost.
Yep.
It's it, and Fat Effects is goated already. It's already my favorite, my go-to.
And I don't use any of the presets for this. I just mess around with all the different modules.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here for the Fat Effects. Step Effects, I'll go to the presets just to get a.
Me too.
Get a template, a start of where I want to do, and then make minor adjustments accordingly.
Yeah, that's the same. And most of the time, you don't even need to make any adjustments because
this is ready to go. Yeah.
Sometimes you just add that step effects on. It's like just change the whole beat. It's like, this is just like woke it up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Give it a different vibe.
Throw it on the whole sample, like I've done it. I've thrown it on samples.
Yep. Well, you saw what it did to those vocals. You know what I mean? Just by adding that on there.
Absolutely.
Well, other than the composition, man, the tips were definitely next level. Tips, man.
Top notch.
The composition was
top notch.
The moment, you know what kind of made it real trippy. You played it the first time and it was in mono, and then the moment you switched it to high fidelity, this thing just exploded.
It's like everything came to life.
Yeah, it just exploded. That was crazy. But the composition is fire, man. Your workflow is definitely efficient, and the tips were on point, man. But we got to save something for the Patreon, man. Got to save something
Definitely.
for the Patreon. You want to give them all the
Yeah,
sauce.
I'll say some stuff. I won't give too much away.
You don't want to give it too much
because there's a
but-
couple of other things I do as well. But yeah,
But we definitely want to give enough for the users to level up. I mean, especially those that are
yeah,
getting Logic right out the box for the first time and wanna learn. I think that's the biggest reason why I've been cooking up with nothing but stock plugins as of late, and I'm trying to make it a habit to do that when I stream. But like if I'm just doing like a regular cook up on a weekend and whatever, I'm using the third party plugins that I usually use. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But out the box, man, Logic is superior, man. Out the box, you don't need,
Superior.
you don't need nothing else.
Even if you just go to the library of sounds that you can get up by just pressing by, even Apple Loops. I don't know if you guys use them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yo, some of those like shaker samples and stuff like that in there.
Fire.
And the fact that you can just drag them in, and it's set to tempo
good to
and
go.
all that. It's like,
Yep.
yo, it's just unbelievable. It's so good.
Yeah, no, Apple Loops. I gotta go back in there. Apple Loops. I used to go to Apple Loops. That used to be my go-to.
I made a
You
few.
know, I used to start off tracks with some Apple Loops and like
I think I make
the
a
vocal chops in there.
Yep. I think I
Fire.
made a whole beat once off just all off of Apple Loop.
Yeah, that beat in the intro to the stream, it was made with nothing but Apple Loops.
Oh really? Well,
Yeah,
that's
and
pretty dope.
I sent it off to a couple beat critiques that the chat was going crazy, like all stock plugins and Apple Loops, like that's crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Apple
Definitely.
Logic has everything you need, man. At the end of the day, but
100%.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
But Levi, we
100%.
appreciate you sharing the screen, brother. Big time. A lot of
Yeah, I'll
gems.
stop sharing.
Yes, sir.
A
Back to the main
lot of
screen.
gems. A lot of sauce.
we trying to get all the secret sauce. We was looking at the template.
Oh man, I was screen recording the whole thing, man. I got my tips. I got my tips. I don't know about y'all, but
Yes, sir.
Levi, man, let us know what you got going on, man, in the future. Anything we should be looking out for. I know. You're rocking with BeatStars, right? You do your BeatStars thing. Let us know what you got going on, what we can look for, what the community can be looking out for you.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of. I've been waiting for some time for these tracks to come out. There's an artist I'm working with, who does songwriting for Tank.
Oh, Tank, the R&B singer.
Yeah, so.
Oh wow.
Wait.
Yeah, you heard right. You heard right.
Right. All right, hold on. Take them at a time. So you're working with, and then the fact that he said, I don't know if you heard of him. It's a guy named Tank.
Mm-hmm.
The flex,
Big flex.
the audacity of flexing that this guy is doing right now.
Super flex.
No, because
Oh,
see where I come from. Not many people would know Tank. I should expect you guys to know Tank is
absolutely.
anyway, right? But
Yeah,
it's just that force of habit of like talking to people that don't really know the same artists that I'm a fan of. or
right.
have listened to. So it's just that definitely wasn't a flex, but I'll take it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, no,
you
that
was
was
digging that was a flex if I ever seen it.
Yeah,
That was
it's a
big
really
flex.
really dope artist called Dante. He's
Okay.
super talented.
Dope.
We've been talking for some time now, for maybe a couple of years, and we just never got to work on anything. I've sent him a couple of things a few times, and then I think it was maybe a month or so ago, he saw a post that put up on Instagram, messaged me, was like, bro, send me that beat right away.
Fire.
So I've actually got videos on my phone of him doing his bits to it, and it's on another level.
Fire,
So
that's dope.
that's a project that he's working on. I'm also, just as we were talking, I got a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp message from an artist I'm working with. Super dope as well. His name's Kenneth. Really dope artist. We're working on like it's like an R&B kind of popish vibe.
Okay.
He's a Christian
Nice.
artist, but he's super dope.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's dope.
He's
Kenneth,
super.
that's his name.
Kenny's Clark, yeah. You can check him
Nice.
out on Instagram. We're working on something together, potentially a couple of tracks. So yeah, just a couple of things like that.
Fire.
I've also been linking up with Bobby V. I've been sending him some stuff too. He hit me up.
So that was the early flex.
Come on, son.
Okay, so you're alley oop yourself
Nah.
early.
Nah.
You know,
He hit me up not
catch
too
your
long
own
ago.
vibe. Okay.
He hit me up not too long ago and asked me to send him some beats.
I'm done.
Nice.
So I sent him about 30, and he just keeps messaging me every now and again. Just keep sending me beats, bro. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get them out as quickly as I can, and I'm
Nice. Yeah.
Also, well, there's a few other other artists I'm working with. My friend that I'm really close with working with in South Africa. He's super dope. Independent, like he's super dope artist.
Nice.
And I've been trying to get some stuff going with Timberland too because.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
He's flex. He's in full flex mode. This is what you call full flex mode.
So
this is not
there's
slight
nothing,
flex. This is full flex.
There's nothing.
The ascension, the way he went from. Oh, I don't know if you might have heard of this artist, Tank.
The flex is too much.
And then Bobby V is like, I sent him 30. I sent him a 30 pack. And he's like, keep sending them more. Then he gets to Timberland casually though.
You were born to be a part of Logic Pro Global.
I say Timberland. He's been following me for a while on Instagram, and every now and again he likes a couple of things that I post up.
Yeah.
But nothing's come to fruition yet. But I'm working.
He's got his eye on you, man. At the end of the day, that's a big move right there.
That's a huge flex.
And it makes sense. It makes sense now because, like I said, those two tracks took me back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Timberland he's a 90s dude, like even beyond that, you know what I'm saying? So he can appreciate the nostalgia behind your beats. So I can definitely see why he's following you know what I'm saying? So that definitely makes sense.
That's dope, man.
It was quite kind of that story is kind of a bit of a whirlwind, and it was when you get something happens like social media, someone's liked your post or something like that, and you think, nah, this person's got to be fake. Because I was actually at work. This was before I was working for BeatStars. I was at work and my phone was going bing, 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 bing. What's this? Timberland's like your post. Timberland's like your post. Timberland's like your post. Timberland started following you, and I was like, nah, this is just something fake.
Right? Yeah, fake
ass account. And I was checking him out. And I was like, no, this is the real deal. He's got the blue tick, and he's only following so many number of people, and he's not following anyone that that's in my group at the time. So like, maybe this is legit. And I left it for a long time. I thought I didn't want to be the super fan, quick getting his DMs. Now he's following me. I know he's going to see my DMs, right? Because it's going to be there,
Yeah.
And I left it for a long time. And I was talking to a couple of other producer friends, and I never really flexed about it at the time because I was like,
you didn't know, right? You still was unsure.
Well, no, it wasn't that. Real. I just wasn't blasting it out everywhere. You know what I mean? I didn't want to. I wanted to play the cool guy, and
right.
And at the end of the day, Timberland's just a human being like anyone else. He's just in the public domain a bit more than we are, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's cool. It's really nice that he's taking notice, and that's when I started to realize I need to start taking this shit seriously. You know what I mean? Because someone of that caliber is taking notice of you. You're obviously doing something right? So I think a couple of months went down the line, and I was talking to a couple of producer friends of mine, and it just came out like it did here, and casually flexing. And
casual flex.
And casual flex, yeah. And they said, "Why have you not DM'd him?" I was like, "Yeah, because I don't really want to be that guy." You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. I know.
And I thought if I started getting funny with, if I started saying, "Yo, Timbo," and getting his DMs, he might decide to unfollow me.
Right?
And I was like, "No, I don't really want that." So I just thought, you know what? I'll just message him. I'll say, "Hey, bro, I really appreciate. I noticed that you've been taking some notice of me, and it means a lot to me. you're definitely someone that I look up to, and I'm sure tons of other people do. So I just really appreciate it. I just wanted to let you know, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
And he actually replied. I was like, "What? The dude actually replied?"
Oh,
And
That's dope.
That's huge, man. That's super dope.
Yeah.
That's
So that was
super
cool. And I've kind of like left it since then.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that kind of
touched on it.
I think that kind of experience is worth more than any dollar amount. Like just that feeling you got when you not only saw that he was following
like
you,
one
but
of the greats,
you hit him up
acknowledges.
and he responded back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think there's no dollar amount that could compare to that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree, because that's one of the things when you become, when you're creative or in the music producer world, you want to be kind of like not accepted by your peers, but you just like you
recognize.
Everyone wants some recognition of some kind, right?
Correct, correct.
Or like that pat on the back to say, keep doing your thing. You're doing something. And at first, when I thought about it at the time, I was like, I don't understand that's why I questioned it so much, because I thought, nah, my stuff just ain't there. I mean, when he started following me, my stuff is not like what it is now. The stuff I'm doing now is way, but I think what I come to think the reason why it happened, because he was seeing a progression, and I think he saw how serious I took it and the potential of where I could take
the potential, right? Exactly, yeah.
So I think he was like, I'm gonna follow this dude and just see where he goes. See where see what takes him. And there must have been something he saw. I don't know if it was like, it could have been something simple like the drum programming or the way I did something.
Yeah. Well, he has an ear, his ear is.
I think that's probably what he's,
like, okay, no, this is unique. This is something different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what he saw. And the more I think about it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a dope story.
That's super cool, man.
Dope story.
Super cool.
Very dope.
I don't really speak about it too much, because it's just like, I don't really want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
right. Yeah. Like try to use it like as something other than what it is.
Like leverage. Yeah. But I've never used it for any kind of leverage. You know what I mean? I've never said to anyone, yo. Like most people that automatically got followed by Timbaland would probably expect Instagram to give them a blue tick straight away. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
right.
That's the type of movement you'd think would be happening.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Timbaland follows me. I need a blue check.
But I've every now and again I've just like sent a verification process to Instagram. I've never put anywhere in the notes there, just by the way, just so you know, Timbaland has folled me. So I think I deserve a blue. I've never used it to my advantage like that. You know what I mean? So
I hear you. And that's super cool though. And that's a super cool story.
That's a dope story, man.
Dope story.
Yeah, cheers, man.
And what about your socials? So we have your Instagram on the webcam frame, but are there any other socials that we should be looking out for?
I only really use Instagram. I have Twitter. I've recently been throwing a few more tweets out here and there, more so to just interact a bit more now. Some people have been telling me that I'm missing out on Twitter. It's quite a good place for music creatives. But and TikTok, the stuff I post on Instagram, I generally post on TikTok. I've still not really got that thing down, but I have noticed recently my following has started to randomly increase, so that's pretty cool. But it's really just Instagram, really. I just use Instagram. Everywhere is just Levi Beats, 2 eyes.
And that's with 2 eyes, y'all. 2 eyes, Levi Beats.
Yeah. Let's be careful with that branding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Levi.
All right. Gene companies is like,
just in
you know what I'm
case.
saying? Oh, hey, no, just tell them that you do a beat for the commercial.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, absolutely.
Beats are in the jeans, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right.
But yeah, Levi, man, this interview, when I tapped into your cook up session, I had to go back and see how long I've been following this guy and how I even got on. And then when I realized that you were using Logic, I realized that was one of the biggest reasons why I started following you. Other than the compositions that you were making, I gotta say, one of the best interviews we've had thus far.
Damn,
a lot of gems,
yeah.
and I know you're a busy man.
gems.
I know you're a busy man as well. Clearly, with the Bobby V stuff and all
Yeah,
the
Tank. I don't know if you heard of this guy.
what I mean?
Tank, yeah.
So to take the time out to chop it up with the community and let people know who you are and how you move and everything is super appreciated. And your flex game is supernatural.
Yeah,
so,
no, he fits right in. Yeah,
you fit
he fits
right in with the
flexing,
crew.
for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? So anytime you wanna tap in and join as a guest, especially when we start doing our beat critiques and beat battles. I mean, anytime. I know Wednesdays are not good days for you, but because of you now, we're gonna start getting ready to launch our other segments. So we're gonna start going live on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, if you have time to tap in and sit down with us and chop it up on Logic stuff, man, you are more than welcome. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I mean, it's difficult for me finding like-minded people. Like you said, this interview and all that, and everything just flowed really well, and I felt exactly the same. So it was super cool, and I think it's going to give value to other people too.
Absolutely,
it's not just about because that's something I would like to do as well. Try to help other people.
Absolutely.
So that's
and I think
cool,
just the nostalgia factor of the music and the genre of music you make, the way you make it, the references of the old songs from back in the day, it just puts me in Myth in a space that it's just like I said, I want to see. I mean, hopefully soon we can do a live cook up.
Yeah,
you do something on your acoustic
Let's
guitars
go.
or whatever it is.
Let's go.
And let Myth get on to do some drums, and I think that would be magical.
Let's go. I'm with it. I'm with it 100%.
And actually, I don't know if I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Zoom allows you to remote other users.
It does, yeah.
Screens.
Oh yeah.
It does.
So one of us could have Logic open, and you could do some stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I gotta iron out the kinks with the screen sharing situation and see why I was having problems on my end. But other than that, I think Ecamm worked great. Myth, we got to talk about Ecamm after the stream. But like I said, Levi, super appreciative for you tapping in and letting us interview you and get to know you personally as well as from a producer standpoint. I see nothing but big things for you, brother. I'm glad we got you on the show before you blow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real early.
Yeah, you're about to be to the stratosphere in a second.
But
nah, definitely not.
Your humility, your integrity, everything about you, man. It's what we're about at the end of the day. And like I said, man, thank you for joining the stream, man. We really, really, really appreciate it. You're welcome anytime.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, just hit me up anytime. And if you want to work on some stuff, music or whatever it is you want to, or if you want to know something about Logic that I might know, just hit me up. I'm about.
Vice versa, brother.
Definitely.
Vice versa.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You hit us up anytime.
Especially when we're getting ready to push the kid out. I think Myth, Drill, and I had discussed actually putting like a little melody pack in there as well. So if we do decide to do that, we'll definitely hit you up and talk splits and all that other good stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm down for that too. I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. Again, thank you so much for joining the stream, man. We really, really appreciate it, man. We really, really
I feel privileged to join you guys. So yeah, I'm appreciative of that.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. He. I think he might have won. He won
Flex Talk. Oh hell yeah, hell yeah!
I think he took it. I think he took the crown.
There's nothing I could have done to top any of that stuff. Absolutely.
No, and he had it. He saved it. He saved the best for last too.
Sorry guys.
That was perfect. You won today's Flex Talk.
I'm not usually an avid flexer, to be honest. I don't. I think maybe. Hopefully you guys have realized that, but yeah, I mean,
you're an indirect flexer, and it's fantastic. I like the way he said Bobby V, like it was just nothing. It's like we ain't know who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like we know who Bobby V is, bro.
He went from Tank.
Yeah, Tank caught me off guard.
Tim and Bob, and he slid in how they follow him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's made for LPG.
Slid that in on the sneak.
He's made for LPG.
You know, you had to really be picking up on the flex to catch that one.
Yeah.
And then he ends up with Timbo.
He's round table material.
With Timbo the King following him.
He's round table material for sure.
Absolutely.
But
I appreciate you guys.
Right in.
You're making me blush. Not that you could tell.
With the purple.
You got the purple room.
Yeah. But yeah, we do appreciate it. But that concludes our stream, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of gems being thrown out today, man. Hopefully you guys took notes. You guys have access to the stream via Twitch, via YouTube. We're gonna try to splice these streams up into little morsels that you guys can digest when you don't have time to watch the whole stream. But we strongly recommend you watch the whole stream.
Absolutely.
On behalf of myself, J Myth, Levi Beats, Drillbit, E-Dot, the whole LPG crew, we want to thank y'all for joining this week's live. Tune in not next week. Tune in tomorrow, which is our regularly scheduled weekly live stream. Today was just a special occasion for Levi himself. But tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp, for some more LPG, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Stay easy.
Salute.